Hey yo, peace family, grand risings, good afternoon, great evening, gracious nights. Welcome back to FOTG, the source. We are back for day 5 of the Devyn Michaels, aka Nikki Fairchild, aka Tracy Tavares, aka Off With His Head, aka adult film celebrity, aka like father like son, murder trial. The prosecution has thrown everything at her, from the gruesome headless body to her own contradictory voice on tape. The prosecution is likely wrapping up, putting the pressure on the defense to launch their major counterattack. To survive this battle, the defense must execute their strategy of reasonable doubt. They gotta raise the suspicion of the victim's son, Deviere Willette,
who was also Devyn's husband of convenience. They will have to introduce evidence to support her core claim that she hit him, but someone else came back and did the beheading. I would expect them to call their own witnesses to try to attempt to humanize Devyn, or more importantly, try to show the jury that someone else had access to that house and had motive. Whether it's the son or someone else connected to the victim's messy past, the defense has to prove the police investigation was rushed and that they have the wrong person sitting at the table. This is one of the final battles for her life versus the integrity of the investigation. If they can't create serious doubt about who held that blade, the life sentence is inevitable. But we here to watch it. So hit that subscribe, stay locked in, tap in, share with a friend. Let's get it, family. And don't forget to hit that like button too. Let's get it!
Well, isn't this a nice surprise?
What up, family? My bad about the voice thing. I did an update, and whenever I do that, it refresh, and I forgot to take it off. Appreciate y'all being here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Miss DB, No One, Michelle B, Trakesha, Ghetto Superstar, Michelle B, Ali. Appreciate y'all. Let's get it.
United States Devyn Michaels, please the record reflect that Ms. Michaels is present with her attorney, Deputy District Attorney on behalf of the state, and both parties stipulate to the presence of our witness.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
The state will recall the witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Carl Lippish.
And it's not that the state's going to be allowed to reopen their questions to the two exhibits and then we'll move to cross.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. And please just state your full name.
My name is Carl Lippish.
State when you're ready.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
We left off yesterday having gone through a tremendous amount of surveillance video. Do you recall that?
I do.
Okay. We had talked about a 217 Charter Oaks surveillance video, and we have the disc for that today. We also discussed the terrible Chevron inside video that we also have marked for today. You recall both of those items?
Yes, I do.
Okay. At this time, Your Honor, pursuant to stipulation between the parties, the state is moving to admit 661 and 662.
No objection.
And sir, just to reorient us to that 217 Charter Oaks address, publishing 11A, are we able to see that on this exhibit here?
Yes.
Can you please, if you can, hover it? And if it's too hard on this exhibit, I do have another one. Would that be more helpful?
The other one's a little clearer.
Okay. A lot of tax on this one, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and publish then 9. Can you hover over that 217 Charter Oaks?
Yes. 217 is right where the pointer's at.
And Your Honor, at this time, the state is requesting permission to publish.
Permission granted.
So as we can see here on this exhibit, specifically 661, there is several video that was collected here, correct?
That's correct.
And specifically what we're looking for here is there was a 2:04 a.m. Activation showing the Nissan Armada turning from Paladura onto Charter Oaks. Is that right?
That's correct.
Publishing doorbell dash 2023-08-07, ending in 110. And there are no date and time stamps on this video, but when you did collect it, you were able to see the date and time stamp on the homeowner's actual system. Is that right?
The detective that collected, yes.
Okay. You as the collective, your team.
Yes.
Playing. I think there's actually a better video there. I think it was actually the driveway angle. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And publishing the file ending in 110F, subsection 4. Okay. Now, this particular camera here, you mentioned that it is an activation. Is this a full-time recording, or does it only activate when there's motion?
This only activates when there's motion.
And this camera in particular is pointing in which direction?
It's pointing towards the intersection, so it's pointing down Paladura towards where the residence occurred, or excuse me, where the homicide occurred at the residence.
So the street in front here, though, is Charter Oaks?
That is Charter Oaks, correct.
Playing the video. And what do we see there, sir?
That's the vehicle. It's the Nissan Armada, and it turned from Paladura onto Charter Oaks, and it's proceeding on Charter Oaks towards the exit of the community at Windmill.
And through the investigation, your team was able to determine that this occurred at 2:04 a.m.
That's correct.
On August 7th of 2023?
That's correct.
Now, turning your attention to the chevron, the inside of the chevron, because we saw the outside of the chevron on Monday, correct?
That's correct.
Lady L in the building. What's good? I see you, fam. Appreciate you joining.
Publishing terrible chevron clip. And so I'm going to pause it there. What do we see in this video here?
This is the front door, the entrance to the Chevron convenience store, Terrible's convenience store.
And this is just a clip from the surveillance video. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And at this point, do we see individuals entering the store?
Yes, we do.
And I'm going to stop right there at 12 seconds. Does that appear to be a female and a male?
Yes, it is.
And did you later determine that that was Devyn Michaels as well as Jonathon Willette?
Yes.
And what does the female appear to be wearing?
She's wearing a white tank top, blue shorts, black and white athletic style shoes with some sort of bag over her shoulder.
I know it's sort of hard to see here. Are you able to see the date and time stamp?
I am not.
If you go very closely to the screen there.
It appears to be August 6th of 2023 at 22 something hours. I can't see the minutes.
Does it appear to be 05?
It does.
Okay. And that would be 10:05 p.m.?
That's correct.
Okay. Playing? And then we see the two individuals then leaving the store
Yes.
approximately about 5 minutes later. So this is essentially a screen recording kind of them entering and exiting, correct?
Yes.
With that correct timestamp.
Yes.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Yeah, thank you. Give me a second, Your Honor.
I told y'all before the other day, before they ended, that she didn't really have nothing left. She was just trying to stretch out the time. Like all of that, she could have finished that last week. She was just trying to stretch the time.
We're going to set up just to hit a few
Law
videos
offices
with
of Porky and Pine.
questions and
Porky and Pine.
Okay. Sure.
Say that again?
Use the HDMI cord. That's what I wanted to use.
No, I was using your op. So I can help if you need it.
Yeah, because the cord is what I'm.
So it's got to be somewhere over there. And it sounds like he wants to use this video, which is in here. So you're going to have to plug that in.
Did we pull out this for the openings or?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, I can just pull one.
Or maybe it will get rid of this.
No, that's the power cord. Alright, well, I'm gonna see what we do here. I'm staying out of it. It's not my Achilles heel, so I'll let him handle it from this point forward with the court's permission. Just a couple, while he's doing that, just a few questions. Detective, have all videos that you collected, have they all been marked and admitted into evidence?
I don't know what the DA has actually admitted, so that would be a question for them.
We've got videos collected from Paladera, Charter Oak, Carolina Laurel, Balsam Pear, Fan Palm, Africa Violet, Choke Cherry. Just so we're clear and the record's clear, have all videos been admitted?
The ones I published, yes.
Okay. But I mean, I know you published some, but do we have all videos collected?
All the
Okay.
discs right over there.
Okay. Detective, would you agree with me that specificity is important, especially in reference to a homicide investigation?
Yes, it is.
Would you agree with me that completeness is important, especially in reference to a homicide investigation?
It is.
It's important to be exact, correct?
Yes.
And it's important to be as correct as possible, correct?
Yes.
It may seem a minor point, but it will become more significant. You have referred to the Paladera home multiple times as the murder scene, correct?
Yes.
However, you'd agree with me that it's unclear, at least based upon the coroner's conclusions, what the cause and manner of death was.
I have not reviewed the coroner's report.
Okay. Obviously, the body was missing a head, and fair to say that without the head, it's difficult to determine the manner of death.
Without the head, obviously, that could be a purpose, or excuse me, that could be the reason that the person died. But yes,
Okay,
unless
so-
there was something else prior.
So based upon your involvement, your engagement in this case, did the person die because of a decapitation?
I personally do not know.
Okay. You were shown videos, and when they were setting up, I'd asked you a question. I said, pay attention to this because I have a couple of questions concerning that.
Yes,
That was the video that was taken from the terrible hoax, correct?
that's correct.
And you yourself collected that video.
From the security personnel, yes, or surveillance personnel.
And what day and what time did you collect that video?
It would have been, I can't tell you the specific date and time right now from recollection, but it would have been within the next day or two.
Okay. If I told you that it appears based upon the paperwork that you collected that on August 11th, 2023, would you have any reason to disagree with me?
I do not.
And was that video taken as a result of a warrant?
I don't understand your question.
Was a warrant served on the terrible herbs, either the corporate center or that particular store, in order to obtain that video?
The warrant, no.
Okay. Was it just turned over then?
Yes.
Okay, but as you sit here today, you don't recall when, either the date or the time? Fair
The
to say?
specific date and time, no. I know it was in, like I said, it was within several days, within a couple days of the actual incident occurring when we learned that they had been at the Terribles.
Okay, so then that would have presumably been days after the event when you began your investigation on August 7th, 2023.
That's correct.
I'm going to turn your attention now, and I'll let you do this. I don't want to. Thank you. And my understanding is we're not going to have this marked and admitted because we're just taking something that's been provided and is admitted. But just for the ease of these questions, I'm going to ask to publish this to the jury, Your Honor.
Okay, but this has already been admitted?
Correct. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, any objections, state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm going to turn your attention specifically to the video that you had discussed. And I'll just let you stay there because I want to do it. You're good. Specifically, the video 6052, taken from 2696 Paladera.
Okay.
Do you recall your testimony the day before yesterday in reference to that?
I do not specifically to 6052. I would have to see the clip to remember which.
Okay. We'll play that right now and see if
Okay.
that jogs your memory.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beat.
The video that I'm going to want to draw your attention to involves where the lights go on in the Armada. Do you recall that testimony?
The lights, are you talking about the exterior or interior lights?
Interior lights.
Yes.
It was your testimony that this video, which was taken from 2696, you didn't have any time stamps for that video, correct?
On the video that we have, no, I do not.
Okay. All right, we're having another technical difficulty. Just if you have a moment, Your Honor.
Player's not going to play right.
Could have something to do with the fact that the head is missing.
Preparing this, I'm going to want to turn your attention specifically to that video to where we see the lights go on.
Okay.
Okay. We just have to get it lined up.
You had a whole day to get ready for
And
this.
again, all these videos have all been admitted and are part of the evidence the jury can refer to.
2 days.
Super quick.
Maybe this one will work. This computer.
Brought to you by the law offices of Porky and Pine.
See the lights on inside?
I do.
I'm just going to keep you right there if we can stay on this. You would testify that occurred at what time?
That occurred at 23:05:43 was the timestamp on that. Or it's 46, excuse me, I believe.
46, so 11:05, 46 seconds?
Correct. Is the timestamp that initially the video itself clip started.
But we don't have that time embedded in that video, do we?
We do not.
It's your testimony that you got that from a cell phone of the homeowner at this address, 2696 Paladera?
Correct. From viewing the clip on the phone itself.
Okay, on the homeowners?
On the residence, yes.
On the residence. But you didn't take a picture of that time, did you?
I did not.
You didn't in any way memorialize that time, correct?
No, just by documenting it, by writing it down so that I could transfer it to a report, yes.
Okay. So we have to rely upon your recollection, your completeness, your correctness in getting that date.
That's correct.
And that time, correct?
That's correct.
But that wasn't the only video that you had recovered from that address, correct?
That's correct.
I'm going to show you another video that was recovered from that address.
One second.
And this is 7557. Is it playing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to tell us what time that image was captured?
I am not.
Let's go to 8879. And all these are same address, same spot. Looks like a work van, doesn't it?
Who's that? That's the
It
work
does actually. It's
the
like
sun
a Chevy
van?
type work van.
Are you able to tell us what time this image was captured?
No, I'm not.
Let's go to 8619.
Uh-oh, is that the sun? Is that Deviere?
Are you able to tell us what time this image was captured?
I am not.
We'll go to 5280. Are you able to tell us what time this image was captured?
No, sir.
Let's go to 75:18. Are you able to tell us what time this image is captured?
No, sir.
31:20.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Are you able to tell us what time this image is captured?
No, sir.
Image 1087.
Rock Solid TV in the building. What's good, family? I see you. Appreciate you joining. Ooh, is that the work van again? Uh-oh. They forgot some shit.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Are you able to tell us what time this image is captured?
No, sir.
Image number 0546. Are you able to tell us what time this image is captured?
No, sir.
Now, you testified day before yesterday that you were looking through these videos at these various locations trying to determine if anybody was acting suspicious, trying to determine whether someone was acting as if they didn't belong there. Do you remember that line of testimony?
Yes, I do.
So you'll agree with me that certain things may have slipped through your review of these videos.
By certain things, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
People, vehicles, cars, things of that nature.
No.
So there's nobody that slipped through your review of these
No,
videos?
we reviewed all of the video that we collected.
Okay. Actually have, and speaking of the video that you had collected, I'm going to show you another group of videos, okay? But they're small because there's not very many.
Okay.
These videos that we were looking at were in reference to the Paladera residence. But let's talk about a video capturing the Porcupine Rim residence. We have 3 videos that are now part of evidence that I'm going to show you. It's captured from 6505 Taylor Creek Avenue.
Do you want to start with the
Absolutely. This is from your exhibits. It's the Taylor Creek.
Yeah, just the word. Just the exhibit number. It should be on the disc. Looks like this is what she gave us. 6501.
65.
Yeah, it's just the 3 videos. Yeah.
6505.
Okay.
Yes. 660.
Exhibit 6. It's a little bit bigger here.
Can we bring it up larger so we can see?
It's pretty quick.
Do you recall your testimony in reference to this video?
Yes.
Up at the right, we have Porcupine Rim. We see Jonathon's truck.
That's correct.
Do you recall the time of this video?
I believe this one was at 9:07 at night, is what the embedded label is on it.
And again, because we have an embedded level so we can see, correct?
That's correct.
Let's look at the second video from that residence. Do you recall this video?
Yes, I do.
What date and time is this video?
This is August 7th, 2023 at 06:21 now, in the morning.
And again, just so we're clear, this video is capturing the Porcupine Rim residence, right?
Among other things, yes, you're able to see the house on Porcupine Rim.
Then we have a third video. And I believe you testified concerning the contents of these three videos.
Yes.
Taylor Creek. That's it, correct?
I don't know. That's it as in,
There were just three videos collected from 6505 Taylor Creek.
that's correct.
Now, you relied upon the homeowner or the occupants in order to get those videos, correct?
That's correct.
Was this a Ring video, do you recall?
The last two we just saw, I believe it had the Ring logo on it.
Okay. Did you issue any subpoenas to Ring in order to obtain the entirety of what those videos may have captured?
I personally did not.
Was there any downloads or a transfer of the contents of this neighbor's phone to determine what all that address was captured concerning?
I actually did not collect the video from this.
All that address was captured concerning.
I actually did not collect the video from this address, so I don't know what specifically the detective did at that address.
But suffice it to say, in this exhibit, we just have those three videos and nothing more.
From that residence, correct.
You can't say with any degree of certainty whether there's more videos that exist, correct?
I did not collect it from that residence, so I do not know. You would have to ask the detective that collected from that residence.
Is it your testimony that you collected all the video possible in order to capture what may have occurred at the at the Paladera residence at the night in question?
I was one of many detectives that canvassed for video, so I'm able to testify specifically to the people I contacted in the residence I got video from, but we had numerous days and numerous detectives that went out and were responsible for canvassing.
In addition to canvassing, are you aware of any subpoenas that were issued in order to preserve this important evidence?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the other detectives involved. I was not involved in every aspect of the investigation, so I can only testify to what I did.
Now, going from the Paladera residence to the Porcupine Rim residence, did you obtain every possible video to occur the goings-on at that home, who may have been leaving or coming back?
From which home?
From the Porcupine Rim home, the home where Devyn
I
Michaels.
collected video from 5530 Porcupine Rim, and that residence provided me with their activations that they had.
Okay. Any others?
Me personally, no.
Are you aware of any subpoenas that were issued in order to obtain basically as much camera coverage of the Porcupine Rim address?
I personally did not submit any, so besides that, I can't testify to what other detectives did.
So then you're unaware of any subpoenas from Ring or Arlo or any other providers in order to get as much coverage of that house as possible? Didn't happen, did it?
Once again, I can only testify to what I did, sir. And if there were other subpoenas or anything that was submitted, that would have been done by somebody else, because I was not tasked with that. So I cannot answer your question because I don't know at this time.
Understood. I'm going to turn your attention to State's Exhibit 11. You had discussed this in your testimony day before yesterday, correct?
Are you specifically the map itself?
Yes.
Yes.
This address is the Porcupine Rim?
Yes, sir. It's the 5510 Porcupine Rim.
5510.
Yes.
You had testified that the only way in and out was here, correct?
By a vehicle, yes.
By vehicle.
Correct.
But on foot, pretty easy to get out of the neighborhood, isn't it?
I honestly don't know. I didn't attempt to get in or out of that other than being my...
Ooh, did he walk away from the crime? Ooh, reasonable doubt. I am Shout in the building. What up, family? I see you.
Vehicle.
Appreciate you
There's
joining.
a walkway right here, is there not?
I see a
Ms. DB back in the building. What up, family? Appreciate you coming back.
gap. I don't know exactly what that is. From looking at this map, I can't tell exactly.
And this 5510 Porcupine Rim, I mean, it abuts. It's right up against Rebecca, correct?
That's correct.
Over the fence and you're on a road, correct?
If you're referring to jumping over the back wall,
Yeah.
then yes, you would be out on Rebecca Road.
So if I told you that we have a walkway right here, just one door over, and over the wall, there are ways to get in and out of this residence, let's say in the early morning hours of August 7th, 2023, correct?
Yes.
We have this back
Daddy, I like when you
Oh, it's right here,
scrambling
it's
and
right
scraping
here.
for
No,
shit.
no, I got
I
notes
like
and
that.
shit.
along here, Rebecca. Which of these residents did you attempt to obtain video coverage from?
I personally did not canvass that area.
So we don't know what was along here, correct?
I was informed that detectives had canvassed that area and they did not find any video surveillance.
Okay, but do we have any reports in reference to that? Do we have any writings in reference to that? Do we have any officers' reports in reference to that?
I do apologize for answering this way again, but I can only testify to what I did and specifically what I reviewed. And so if there may be some, I don't know.
And fair enough, we're all human, correct? You're a human, you make mistakes, correct?
I didn't say I made a mistake, sir. I said that I'm testifying to the work that I did in this case. So what other work that was done that I was not privy to or I was not a part of would be documented by other detectives. So me personally, I did not canvass that area because that was not one of my tasks. And so I can't testify to who specifically did or what they did or how they documented it.
Let me ask you this, given your involvement in this case from the get-go, was this a complete investigation?
To my knowledge, it was complete, but again, I was not involved in every aspect of the investigation.
So, sir, to your knowledge, this was a complete investigation, correct?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, sir.
And you'll agree with me that you do not have a perfect knowledge of the doings and investigations and investigative steps that were taken in this case, correct?
Considering the volume of stuff that was done, the work that was done on this, no, I do not.
You had testified concerning arriving at the scene of the decapitation. You had testified that you arrived there the morning of August 7th, 2023?
That's correct.
And you went in, you viewed the body, correct?
Yes.
You had given testimony concerning cleaning supplies on the first floor, correct?
On the lower level, yes.
There were cleaning supplies on the upper floor, were there not?
I was not responsible for searching that area, so you'd have to show me what you're referring to.
Okay, so you didn't go upstairs and view cleaning products, things in the bathroom from upstairs?
No, as a squad, when we respond, because of the extent of the investigation, we divvy up or divide up the responsibilities. So when it comes to, for instance, in serving a search warrant, we'll work specific areas so that we can focus on the areas that we are tasked with. So we don't necessarily see the entire residence, as you're saying.
I'm going to show you an image, and it's my understanding that all crime scene photos of the Paladera residence have been admitted from the crime scene analyst.
Probably in there. I mean, I don't know.
There's a stack in there this high. I just have a single photo. If I
just wanna
could.
make sure that that's in there before, because we can't show it to you.
Well, if you want to move to admit it.
I'd
just
move
save
to
time.
Yeah, just move to it.
Okay. This is from the upstairs,
Okay, hold on.
and I'm publishing it with the court's permission.
This is what? What's next in line? Next in line would be defense's T3.
T3.
Okay,
We'd move-
defense's T3 will be admitted, permission to publish is granted.
Thank you. Getting a little bit ahead of Your Honor, thank you. We've got cleaning supplies. Did you see these in the upper story?
Once again, as I already stated, I did not search that area. I see that your photo is showing me cleaning supplies, but I have no reference to like when and where this was.
We had heard testimony the first couple of days of this trial where there appeared to be a line near the head, appeared to be a line from a bucket. We have a bucket upstairs, don't we?
If this photo is from upstairs, I do see a bucket in there, yes.
And I will not mislead you with my questions. If I told you this represents a bucket and cleaning supplies from upstairs, would you have any reason to disagree with me?
The only reason I'm saying that is I know in your previous line of questioning, you've asked me about things that I was not responsible for or what I did not do in the investigation. And I just want to make it clear that I don't believe you would try to mislead me. However,
Absolutely not.
this is not something I'm familiar with.
Fair enough. And you had given testimony on Monday that you had arrived at the Paladera residence and that you had walked through the crime scene. Do you recall?
Yes.
And I'm now showing you a photograph that was taken from upstairs of this scene, and I'm just asking if you had an opportunity to see this.
I did not.
Okay. Did you view the backyard at the Paladera residence?
I do remember seeing the backyard out the door, yes.
I'll have these admitted. Here, let me.
The absence of evidence is
have
not
these
the
marked
evidence.
to
of
you.
absence.
What?
Hey yo, shout out to I Am Shout. Shout out to I Am Shout. Welcome to the family. Drop them some coins. Appreciate you, family. Welcome back. Thanks for joining the
I'm going to show
team.
you what's now been admitted as Defense Exhibit U3. I'm going to represent to you that this was taken in the backyard of the Paladera residence. Did you see that footprint?
I did not.
Are you aware of its existence?
If you're telling me that's where it's from, then yes, I am. Now I am.
Turn your attention to Defense Exhibit V3. Did you see that footprint? And obviously, presumably, it's the crime scene analysts that are measuring it. This footprint was in the backyard of the Paladera residence, correct?
I did not see that while I was on scene, no.
Are you aware of its existence?
I am now, yes.
Are you aware of any testing, comparisons made in relation to this footprint?
Once again, that was not part of my portion of the investigation, so I cannot speak to that.
Based upon your review of this photograph, fair to say that that's a man's footprint?
I would have to look at this closer. I don't know how you could come to that conclusion just based on this photo.
It's a fairly large footprint, correct?
There are people, both male and female, that have various size shoes, so I would not jump to that conclusion, sir.
So you're saying you're not aware of this, but you're going to argue with me right now whether this is perhaps a man's footprint or a woman's footprint?
Well, your question actually said that it is a man's footprint based on the size of it, and based on what I'm looking at right here, I would not be able to tell you yes or no whether that is a man or woman's footprint.
Let me ask you this in reference to your investigation. Were you involved in any follow-up concerning these footprints?
I was not.
I can have the court's indulgence just a moment. I have no further questions. Thank you, Detective.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly. Sir, you had testified on cross about the 2696 Paladera address, which is next door to the murder house, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And those cameras, that camera specifically, you're able to figure out sort of the time frame of the activations by comparing the other surrounding surveillance video homes that were collected, correct?
That's correct.
And so by reviewing everything, you're able to cross and compare the time frames so that you can be confident to testify today as to the date and time frames.
That's correct.
Additionally, you did see the date and time frame on the homeowner's device
Correct.
that held the video.
Correct.
And from comparing all the surveillance video that we went into great length on Monday, you're able to determine which direction any vehicle is going in the surveillance video that was collected, correct?
That's correct.
So it shows directional patterns and things of that nature.
Yes.
Okay. And the 11 p.m. time frame was important based off the investigation, correct?
Yes.
And so that's why you were focused on that time frame when collecting video and watching video and flagging which video was most important, correct?
That's correct.
But that being said, you did review all the video.
That's correct.
Now, turning our attention then to the 6505 Taylor Creek address, that's the address in the Porcupine Rim neighborhood that shows the only entrance and exit, correct?
6505 is the one that shows the actual residence of 5510 Porcupine Rim. It's not the one at the entrance to the
Thank
community.
you for correcting me. I misunderstood that. So that was discussed on cross-examination. That particular camera, thank you for correcting me, is the one that only activates from motion, correct?
It is a motion camera, yes.
And so because we only have those videos, that's because we saw the homeowner sort of going to the trash because it was trash day and then coming back up the driveway, correct?
Correct.
So it's motion activated.
Yes.
Court's indulgence. Past witness.
I'll just pick up on the last part of that redirect. The 6505, the one that we just have the 3 that's looking right at the Porcupine Rim. Questions concerning this is only motion activated. You don't know if any other videos exist in reference to that, do you? We just have the 3 for a fairly long time period.
I personally do not know.
Specifically turning your attention to the 2696 Paladura, that list of videos.
He needs some milk.
Yes.
You were asked about 1105 and if that was an important investigative time and if you cross-referenced other videos. Remember that line of questioning that you just got?
Yes.
What other videos did you cross-reference in reference to video 6052? The first one that we started with the lights going on, you can see the interior lights. What video did you cross-reference?
That one, there were no other ones because it was just the motion in front of that. That was captured from 2696.
So then, based and to clear up the redirect, we don't have another camera to verify that time, do we? That you gave the
That specific one, no.
And the list that I gave, 75, 57, people walking by, no cross-reference to another video, correct?
Actually, with the rest of those, there is. Those people that are walking, they actually belong to the house on the street behind. That work truck that you actually brought up belonged to a house over on African, I believe it's African Violet. I don't remember the exact name of the
So
street.
I'm asking what videos that you reviewed in order to cross-reference this, to confirm this.
Those are the ones from the other houses in the neighborhood. There's other ones that were collected. We were able to cross-reference for those specific ones because those were people that walked through the neighborhood and continued to other areas.
Let me ask you this, though, back to the 6052, the one where you see the internal light. We don't have another video corroborating the time that you state that captured, correct?
That's correct.
No further questions.
Briefly again, so the work van that you were just crossed on, that we saw in the video, that's coming from a different house, right?
It's actually going to a different house. It came into the neighborhood and went over, I believe it's African Violet is the name of the street. You actually see it in front of that house from their activations.
Okay, so that's the explanation, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then also that Taylor Creek address that we keep talking about that shows the 5510 Porcupine Rim address.
Yes.
You're aware that motion activated cameras have different sensitivity levels.
Correct.
So a homeowner that has a motion activated camera can actually go in their app, if it's hooked up to an app or something, right, to change the sensitivity levels. Is that right?
The sensitivity, the zones, and how they want it to capture, yes.
Okay, but including sensitivity?
Correct.
Like what actually causes it to activate?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so as we're seeing in that video, it seems that the only activations happen when the homeowner is basically in the driveway, is when it starts to activate, which is pretty close to the camera, correct?
Correct.
Pass witness.
I have one follow-up. We have to hook up the computer for just a moment. And Detective, this is...
I'm talking.
Make me.
It's my time.
Make
It's
me.
my time.
505 Taylor Creek, the one that you're giving testimony concerning. We only have 3 videos and it's only motion activated.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start it. We're going to play it.
Get your money.
So if there is motion activated, it appears that the Paladera or the Porcupine Rim, it does activate, correct?
It activates. I don't know what activates it in this one.
So then as far as when it activates, when it doesn't, we just know that we're stuck with 3 and you had to rely upon the homeowner, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, rely upon the homeowner, right? correct?
Again, I can't testify to what the detective did. I don't know if the detective viewed the entire timeline, and those were the only 3 that were activated, but those were the 3 that were provided.
I have no further questions. Thank you, Detective.
You're welcome.
Not at this time.
Okay, do the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have any questions for this witness? Okay, seeing no response, sir, you may be excused. Thank you very much for your testimony here today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No, he's sleeping.
Did they call another witness? I know dang old well they not going to break already. They just started. They ain't even been there an hour yet. But yeah, that's that witness right there. He was looking kind of bad. He made the investigation look kind of sloppy once again. Sloppy investigations all over the place. Do you even work?
We're going to take our lunch recess because we have some things we have to get in order to make sure that this afternoon runs smoothly for you. I swear we are trying our best to streamline as much for you as we can so that you don't have to keep wasting your time. So just so you know, none of us will be eating. We'll be getting that stuff together, but I'm going to give you guys your lunch break at this time to get that stuff together for you. During this recess, you must not discuss or communicate with anyone, including fellow jurors, in any way regarding the case on this matter, either by voice, phone, email, text, internet, or other means of communication or social media. You must not read, watch, listen to news or media accounts or commentaries on the case. You must not do any research, such as consulting dictionaries, using the internet, or using reference materials. You must not make the investigation, test, theory of the case, recreate the aspect of the case, or in any other way investigate or learn about the case on your own. You must not form or express any opinion regarding this case until it's finally submitted to you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 10 to 12 will be in recess till 1:30.
All rise for the jury.
10 to 12 and they be in recess till 1:30? Damn, what type of court is going on? They came for 45 minutes. Then they gonna take a lunch break for another hour and 45 minutes. The hell, Bobby? I got some stuff ready, but shit, I might be better off doing what I had planned. I didn't expect it to be this early. And they started late. They started 2 hours late. The hell? Let me see what I got. Let me see. I got some stuff ready. This one thing is kind of funny. Let me see. Where you go? Okay, right here. Let me see.
Mr. Willette, my name is Robert Draskovich.
I want to now bring you
my partner, Mike Horvath, and I represent
Paren 1 as charged in count 1. We further
So this is only a 2-minute clip. I just want to show this reaction real quick, and then we'll get back to this case. But I just want to show this real quick.
find true the allegations that Diana Jean Lovejoy was vicariously armed with a firearm within the meaning of Penal Code Section 12022, Paren A, Paren 1, dated 11/13/17, signed foreperson. Same title, same cause. Verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Diana Jean Lovejoy, guilty of the crime of attempted murder of Greg Mulvihill in violation of Penal Code Section 664/187, Paren A, Paren 1, as charged on count 2. We further find true the allegation that Diana Jean Lovejoy acted willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation within the meaning of Penal Code Section 189. We further find true the allegation that Diana Jean Lovejoy was vicariously armed with a firearm within the meaning of Penal Code Section 12022, Paren A, Paren 1, dated 11/13/17, signed foreperson. In the Superior Court of the State of...
Look at her leaning. She passing out on you. And the last name Lovejoy, that ain't gonna work out good in prison.
California, in and for the County of San Diego, the people of the State of California. Plaintiff versus Weldon K. McDavid, defendant. Case number SCN 363925, DA number OCD 980. Verdict.
We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Weldon K. McDavid, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
All right, we're going to need to take a break. So you're down. And if we could have, the jury go back into
The above entitled cause, find the defendant, Weldon K. McDavid.
Look, all y'all be trying to take that crazy claim and play crazy. You got to go all the way through with it now. You got to follow through.
Guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
She hit her head on the desk and everything.
K. McDavid, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
All right, we're going to need to take a break. So you're down. And if we could have, the jury go back
She said, nope, we ain't reading that verdict yet. We ain't claiming that. We gonna have to run this back.
A Massachusetts police chief is nearly caught with his pants down after allegedly soliciting a woman for sex. Law and Crime obtained the criminal complaint that contains all the shocking details. This is Inside the Crime. South. Michael, really don't want to go out. It's okay if you don't want to come here. My daughter will be home at 10:30ish, so it has to be a quickie. Undercover officer, I just don't love just going to Rando's house. Ha ha ha, no offense. Any chance we can meet like down the road first or do a car date? Michael, if it's quick, we can meet at Huzak, then maybe come to my house, but just need to be back.
When they can meet up, he talks about exactly explicitly what he wants to do, and to now allege that it's entrapment, that's difficult to do. It's a tough road to hoe, and I don't think it's
a tough road to hoe. Messing with them police chiefs out there while they locking people up. I don't want to get too much into that, but let's see. We'll keep some stuff playing. We'll get back into the sun real quick since he the hot topic of the day, and let them take their lunch break. I'm still working as well, so trying to multitask here.
Present your wife. You and I have never spoken, have we?
No, sir.
You've never spoken with my investigator, Ken Hardy, have you? Investigator?
No, sir.
No. So this is the first time that we're actually having an opportunity to communicate, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, sir, if you just get a little closer to that microphone. Thank you.
Yeah, I saw some of Alicia Andrews. Shout out to Taylor Umbridge. Shout out to Taylor Gang. Alicia Andrews had the attorneys on there with the interview. I'll probably cover some of that, make a clip or something from it. Shout out to her for that.
You had testified today, fair to say, for the first time, that you had a relationship with your wife that went years back.
Yes, sir.
You'd been asked that by a lot of people, correct?
Yes, sir.
You'd been asked that before under oath, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you didn't tell the truth, did you? Sir, you were given copies of your prior statements in preparation for your testimony today, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were. You're a smart man, aren't you?
No, sir.
And you reviewed those copies of your statements in your testimony, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because you wanted to be prepared for today, correct?
No, sir.
I see.
Sir, if you just speak up, you have some names. Hold on, just one second.
I live with Yoko.
And who is Yoko to you?
Yoko-sanはあなたにとってどういう関係ですか？
boyfriend, girlfriend だと思います。
Boyfriend and girlfriend relationship.
So Yoko is your girlfriend?
Yes.
Yes.
How
long have you known Yoko?
ヨコさんはどのくらい知られてますか
？26、7年ですね。
About 26 and 27 years.
How long have you been in a relationship with Yoko?
ヨコさんとそういう関係が
10年ぐらいじゃないですか。10年ちょっと前。10年
About 10 years.
And when you've been in a relationship with Yoko, have you always lived with her at the 2698 Paladura address?
ヨコさんとそういう関係になって今の住所にずっと一緒に住まれてますか？
はい、そうです。
Yes, that's correct.
Turning your attention then to August 6th of 2023.
Over 10 years, but still no English.
8月6日の2023年のことについてこれから
I don't mind you speaking your language, but after being here that long, you should at least be able to speak English.
Who were you living with at that address?
その時住所にどなたと一緒に住んでましたか？その時住所にどなたと一緒に住んでましたか？
ヨコさんと住んでました。
With Yoko.
Was anyone else living at the house at that time?
その時にヨコさん以外にどなたかと住んでましたか？With
John.
John.
And who was John?
ジョンさんって誰ですか？ジョンさんって誰ですか？
ヨコさんの息子ですね。
He's the son of Yoko.
Now, did John stay in a downstairs living room that became a bedroom?
ジョンさんは1階のリビングルームを自分のベッドルームにして使っていました。
そうですね。1階のリビングルームに住んでましたね、彼は。
That is correct.
And did you and Yoko share a bedroom then upstairs of the home?
そしてヨコさんは2階の。
2階の。
That's correct.
Okay. So on August 6th of 2023, were you aware of a person named Nikki?
この8月6日2023年に、ニッキーという人を知ってましたか？
知らないです。意味もう一度。
8月6日、そのニッキーという人をその時に知ってましたか？2023年の8月。
知ってました。
Yes.
And who was Nikki?
ニッキーという方はどういう関係方なんですか？
全く何もないです。
I don't know.
ヨコさんの息子のガールフレンドだと思ってました。
The only thing I know is that she's
じゃあワイフかな。
He said, I don't know who Nikki is. Only thing I know is that he said, hold up. I'm Splack in the chat. What up? You came, they was only there for 45 minutes, Trakisha. They already went on lunch break again.
わからないです。
I don't know quite well, but I assume that she's the girlfriend of the Yoko-san.
Like I told y'all the other day, I think the case is about over, and they just trying to stretch it out as long as they can.
Of John?
John, or wife.
Okay. They had children together, correct?
子供さんがおられましたよね。
はい。
Yes.
2 girls?
2人の子供。
Two
girls, yes.
And then John had an older son not with Nikki, correct?
ジョンさんは年の上の子供がおられましたか？その2人以外に。
もう一人最初の奥さんといましたね。デビエラというコード。
デビエラprobably that the son or children of her former marriage.
Okay, so John's former marriage, he had a son.
ジョンさんの最初の結婚の時の子供さん来られたんですか？
どっかカリフォルニアの方から来て、住みたい、ジョンが住みたいと言ったんで、ヨコさんに聞いて。
I want to now bring you to August 6th, okay, 2023. On that date, were you living at the Porcupine Rim address?
Yes, sir.
Were the girls living there?
Yes, sir.
Was Nikki living there?
Yes, sir.
Do you know or remember what you did during the day on August 6th?
I woke up and I went to work, and I got a phone call from my grandfather saying that my dad was critically injured. And
okay, let me clarify here. I'm talking about the day before you were notified.
Oh, I went to work.
Okay, so you work on the 6th.
Yes.
Wait, he still said he went to work. After all this time, he still say he went to work the day before. I know we said that, I mentioned a couple times, but now that the defense then came back out and made him confess that he did not work that day, and he knew he didn't work that day, why is he still on the stand saying he went to work that day? But then he said he was at the home watching the kids.
Yes, sir.
Can you clarify here?
And
Okay, let me clarify here. I'm talking about the day before you were notified.
I went to work.
Okay, so you work on the 6th.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what Nikki and the girls were doing that day?
No, sir.
Did there come a point in time after you get home from, oh, and I should ask you, did you drive a work van?
Yes, sir.
Is that the white one that was parked in front of the home?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ooh, is that the one we just saw in the video footage that the defense was playing? Ooh.
There's another vehicle out front of the home. Whose was that? Not the Nissan Armada, but the little sedan.
Oh, that was my vehicle, sir.
Was that operable at the time?
Yes, sir.
And did you drive it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The night of August 6th, you get home from work. Do you remember a point in time where you saw your dad at the Porcupine Rim address?
Yes, sir.
Describe that for the jury.
So I just got off of work. I was helping with the girls with their homework, and I believe I went into the garage and I saw my father bringing over a bunk bed and a desk for the girls, and his back was turned to me, so I closed the garage door.
So you didn't talk to him?
No, sir.
How was your relationship at that point in time?
We hadn't talked for a while.
At some point prior to that, had he learned that you had actually married Nikki?
Yes, sir.
How was that conversation, or if you had a conversation about it?
He sent me a text message asking or saying, I don't know what you're doing, but it's not right. And I responded with half of what you know is true and the other half isn't.
Okay. So your dad clearly knew you were formally married.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember the date you got married?
No, sir.
Did you ever get divorced?
No, sir.
Is that something you would like to do?
After this, yes.
Okay. Once this trial is done?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, show you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Sir, could you please state your full name and then spell it for the record?
Full name is Marquis Cooper, M-A-R-Q-U-E. Last name Cooper, C-O-O-P-E-R.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you employed?
By the city of Henderson.
What's your position there?
I am a patrol officer.
How long have you worked in that capacity?
For 8 years.
And what are some of the duties of a patrol officer? Could you inform the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that may not know?
Yeah, for patrol officers, typically responding for calls for service. It can be something as simple as a civil dispute or as a shooting. So just whatever calls for service that come through the computer.
And as a patrol officer, are there certain areas that you're assigned to?
Yes, so Henderson's separated by the North Division, West and East, was assigned to the North Division. And in those, also in those North, they're separated by what they call beats or areas, which is, they're numbered on ours as 1 through 7 for the North.
And you said which area command were you responsible for on around the time frame of August 7th, 2023?
That was the North Area Command.
What types of call for service would you go out to and respond to?
As far as on that day or just in general?
Just in general.
It could be a gamut of things. I mean, like I said, a simple complaint of neighbor dispute to a shooting to petty larceny. We had them all there, so a lot of petty larceny and things of that nature. So it could be anything you can respond to.
Then turning your attention to August 7th of 2023, were you working as a patrol officer at that time?
Yes.
And which area command was that again?
The North Area Command.
North Area Command. Were you then dispatched to a call at 2698 Paladura Drive on that date?
Yes.
Around what time did that call come out?
Don't know the exact time, but I roughly think it was around 8:50-ish.
Fair to say around 8:40 in the morning?
Yes.
And what was the nature of the call as you understood it at that time?
At that time, what I had was the CAD notes from the computer, and it just said that a mother found her son, and she saw blood, and I think the other detail was he didn't have a face. That's what the call note stated.
And then after getting that information, did you then respond to that Paladura address?
Yes.
Did you respond with anyone?
Yes, there was another officer dispatched with me, and I also responded with the Henderson Fire Department.
Do you recall which officer was with you?
Officer Flores, and then more eventually showed up after.
Okay, but initially it's you and Officer Flores that respond to this Paladura address.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you responded to the address, were you in a marked patrol vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. How is it that you responded to the scene? And specifically what I'm wondering is, did you roll code?
Initially I started code, but I was close by, and then I shut down just because I was close by, and it was more safety reasons.
Can you inform us what rolling code means?
That is lights and sirens.
How long did it ultimately take you to get to the scene once the call came out, would you say?
I don't know the exact
Was
time.
it hours, minutes?
No, a few minutes.
And when you did arrive to the scene, were you wearing what's called a body-worn camera?
Yes.
And was that recording when you did respond?
Yes.
Prior to today, did you review that body-worn camera footage?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to admit State's Exhibit 2 that I believe has been previously stipulated between the parties for its admission.
Absolutely, no objection.
In front of you at that computer screen?
Yes.
Okay. And what does that appear to be?
You sorry, what'd you say?
In front of you, what does that appear to be on the computer screen?
My body cam footage.
Okay. And specifically looking at the top right-hand position, do we see a date there?
Yeah.
And what does that date say?
8/7/2023.
And would that be August 7th, 2023?
Yes.
And is there a timestamp at the start of this video?
Yes, 8:46 a.m.
And about 13 seconds?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and play the video from the beginning. And specifically fast forward to about the minute mark. Publishing at 53 seconds.
Good morning.
And I'm going to pause it there at 108. That siren we heard, is that your rolling code, as you would call it?
At this point, I was just trying to get around so I think there were some cars blocking. I was trying to get around to.
Understood. Playing again from 108.
TR 52 visual. I can do one driver from apartment, calling at 6 numbers on service, they'll walk in the call. Okay, go for it. Sure, good.
And I'm going to pause the video at 1 minute 36 seconds. So when you approach the scene, the 2698 Paladura Drive, are there already people at the residence?
Yes, the Henderson Fire Department, and there was somebody else. I don't know who that was.
But it was a fire department response prior to your response?
Yes.
Okay. And is this you obviously walking towards the residence?
Yes.
Playing at 1 minute 36 seconds. And I just want to stop it here at 142. Is there anything unique about sort of the garage area that you saw when you were walking up to the residence?
That it was just slightly cracked.
Playing at 1:42. And I'm stopping here at 1:59. Did you hear something in the background when you arrived?
I mean, a dog barking.
Okay. Do you recall the dogs being in the house at the time?
I don't recall if they were in the house.
Playing at 1:59.
Let's lock this down then.
Stopping it at 2 minutes 19 seconds. Was that your voice there, sir?
Yes.
And what did you say in that video?
If it was missing head, let's lock it down.
Okay. And what does lock it down mean?
Meaning there's now a crime scene, so we kind of push everybody out and freeze that area, to limit access to the house essentially.
The initial response was not necessarily a response to a crime, is that correct?
Not initially.
It was to see, essentially respond to what was being called into as someone that needed potential medical aid, is that right?
Yes.
But once you saw this, you determined it appeared to be a crime scene and you locked it down.
Yes.
Playing again at 2:19.
Hey, we lock this down, let's FI them.
And I'm going to stop right there at 2 minutes 32 seconds because I hear another term that we may not know. What does FI mean?
FI is a field interview, so essentially we'll gather information, name, date of birth, things of that nature. It's a field interview of people involved.
Okay, and that was because you had seen, I believe we saw earlier in the video, 2 individuals that appeared to have lived in the residence that you wanted to do an interview of, is that right?
Yes.
Playing again at 2:32.
Sarge, 142, are you around?
Stopping the video at 2 minutes 50 seconds. I hear you on your radio. What are you doing at that point?
At this point, I'm just making sure, due to the nature of the call, making sure the supervisor is on his way.
And who was your supervisor that you were reaching out to?
Sergeant Shields.
And is that typical protocol to reach out to a supervisor in
yes.
this type of situation?
Yes.
Okay. And when you went into the room, what were your initial observations of what you saw? Clearly, you saw a deceased person. Is that right?
Yes.
Anything unique about the body?
I think initially, obviously, that it was decapitated, and there wasn't much blood initially that I figured it would be, and also there was like a strong, like, chemical smell inside that room.
There wasn't much blood after chopping his head off, so where was the rest of the blood at then? The body had to be moved then. Why would there not be much blood? And even he was expecting it to be more blood.
It was the first initial things that were surprising to me.
Were you able to see what was used to cut off the head or kill the person?
No.
Playing at 2 minutes 50 seconds.
Copy. Hey, we're locking it down until we get here. No 71. Hey, when you get here, can you grab crime scene log?
And stopping at 3 minutes 8 seconds. What is a crime scene log?
Crime scene log is, once we determine it's a crime scene, it's pretty much a document to list out who enters or who exits that crime scene.
So in this video, you're essentially asking for one of those, is that right?
Yes.
Playing at 3:08.
Oh, there go Yoko.
And I'm pausing at 3:11. Are those the 2 individuals that you saw in the home that appeared to be residents?
Yes.
Were you able to, through your investigation, identify those 2 individuals?
Yes.
Okay. And was that Yoko Willette and Masao Yoshida?
Yes.
Playing at 3:11.
Anyone else?
And I'm stopping stopping there at 3:24. We hear in the video that it appears to be only those two individuals as well as the deceased that was in the home at that time. Is that right?
Yes.
Playing at 3:24.
That dog back there going crazy.
No, no, no.
Stopping the video at 3:55. So essentially, after you are walking down the scene, calling your sergeant, and the investigation is underway, what do you do at this point?
At this point, we're just waiting for the sergeant to get here. We're eventually going to set up some crime scene tape and start that crime scene log.
Court's indulgence. Your Honor, the state will pass the witness. Cross.
Yes, thank you. Correct. There was not as much blood as you thought. You see that this body is missing a head, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you had said that there was not as much blood as you thought there would be, correct?
Yes.
Based upon experience.
In this situation, no, just from being on different types of critical incidents.
Fair to say that there wasn't as much blood there as you thought there would be. Perhaps that head was removed somewhere else, correct? Different spot.
One more time, sorry?
I said fair to say that based upon you not seeing as much blood as you thought there would be, reasonable assumption is maybe that body was decapitated somewhere else other than where you saw it laying in your bed, correct?
I'm not sure if it was moved or what. Just on my initial, it didn't seem.
Okay. You'd also test.
Got him! Got him!
Testified that when you came into the residence, this smell hit you. I think your testimony was it was a strong smell, correct?
Yes.
Now, there were two other occupants at 849 when you arrived. It was Yoko and the couple that was standing there, correct?
Yes.
Was there ever an indication or a statement made to you by either one of them concerning the strong smell in the house?
No.
No. Thank you. No further questions. Good afternoon.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Was that right?
Yeah, like you could kind of taste it a little bit, and you could definitely felt it in your nostrils.
And were they identified as Yoko Willette and Yoshida Masao?
Yes, it ended up being the person in the room. It was their mom and I believe her boyfriend.
So the deceased's mother.
Yes.
And the mother's boyfriend.
Yes.
So you walk into the front door of the scene. Walk us through what you saw, what you heard, things of that nature.
Okay, so I go in and my officer is escorting me back. So we walk into like the living room area, go into the kitchen, take a few steps down, and come back this way. It's like a converted living room area maybe that was converted into a bedroom. And the bed is to our right. And then laying on the bed was a body, the deceased. And then, do you want me to explain that more?
Was there anything you noticed that you smelled when you were inside the room?
Well, initially.
Was there anything you noticed that you smelled when you were inside the room?
Well, initially, but we didn't know what it was until later. But you could kind of taste and smell like a little burning that's not common walking into people's houses.
So you described it as a burning, like a chemical burning smell. Was that right?
Yeah, like you could kind of taste it a little bit, and you could definitely felt it in your nostrils. But it wasn't really strong when we first went in. As strong as it seemed like it got stronger the longer we were there.
And more in the bedroom area?
Yes.
And you may have already said this, but was there anything unique about the body when you saw it?
Well, so like I said, I came from the kitchen down the stairs, came around. The bed is here, and the body was laying face down on the bed, and the shoulders were kind of, if the body was laying this way, face down, the shoulders were kind of even with the edge of the bed. And I think it was partially wrapped in a blanket. And just things that I noticed, there didn't appear to be like signs of any struggle or anything. Like there wasn't a bunch messed up. It was just kind of laying there, like the arms weren't moved or anything. So it was pulled to the edge, and it just, in my mind, I thought, man, that was just a really clean cut. And then there was no head.
Okay.
And then
now you had mentioned the body was laying on the bed. Is that right?
The body was laying on the bed. Yes.
And was it on the body's stomach? the
Yes, on the
person's stomach?
laying face down. Yeah, the back was facing up.
Okay. And where the head would have been off the bed, is that right?
Yes, like I said, the shoulders were kind of in line right with the edge of the bed. So the head would have been out here.
Did you see any blood at the scene?
I did see blood, but just from experience over the years, like you've seen people shot or stabbed or other lose a limb on a motorcycle accident or other type of trauma to the body, you would expect to see a lot more blood. And that was something that stuck in my head, is like, there's blood, but I would expect to see a lot more, especially under where the head would have been. Like, I don't know if, like, maybe something was put there or something to collect. It's what it appeared. Like, maybe something was put there to collect the blood, because there was just what appeared to be not as much blood that you would imagine being there.
So no blood spattering, things of that nature that you might normally see?
I remember there was blood on the mattress to the right of the body, and then a small, I mean, I don't know if that's small, I think that a small amount of blood on the floor. And then, yeah, looking around, the wall wasn't.
Another one saying that it was not enough blood. The body had to be moved. Both of them saying the same thing. It was not enough blood. They expected more blood. Crazy.
Very far away. You would expect to see some type of cast off, spatter, blood anywhere, but it was just, it appeared like a very clean.
No cast off, splatter, none of that.
Scene, other than the body, the blood, the little blood.
Now, the color of the blood, was it unusual?
Yeah, typically, I mean, blood is pretty obvious, like we've all seen blood, but this one wasn't like the typical fresh red blood. It was more of like a black color.
And that's not normal based on your training and experience from what you've seen with bloody incidents?
Based on my experience and being at other crime scenes, with, you know, the time lapse, no, not common and not consistent with what I've seen in the past.
Now, you mentioned to us that you have 28 years of law enforcement experience.
Yes.
Was this the first decapitation you responded to in your career?
I was thinking about that. I can't recall another decapitation.
Something you would probably remember if you did see it before, right?
Yes.
So it's not your everyday event that you see something like this, right?
No.
Did you inspect any other rooms other than that bedroom where the body was found?
Yes, or so after seeing that and just thinking about the blood, I went around. So if you go around the bed, back there's kind of like a little hallway that led into a bathroom. So I walked into the bathroom, and before I went to the bathroom, I remember having to step over 2 bottles of like cleaning, liquid cleaning bottles, some kind of Clorox or that type of thing, bottles laying on the carpet prior to getting to the bathroom. So stepped over those, went into the bathroom because I was wondering maybe if there would be blood in the sink or blood in the bathroom or anything, but nothing appeared. There didn't appear to be any blood in there, and didn't appear to be any signs of struggle in there either. So the other things that I noticed that the mom had said outside, I confirmed what she had told me, where she said when she came downstairs, she thought it was weird that the dogs were locked out, and the interior garage door, the single door, was propped open, and then the exterior door was rolled up. So when I came out of the bathroom, I noticed that the interior garage door was propped open, the exterior roll-up door was part of the way up.
Okay. Now I want to turn back to the body that you saw. Did you notice anything peculiar emanating from the body?
It was actually pointed out by one of my officers on the scene. I was kind of by the foot of the bed, I think, and he said, "Hey, Sarge, this guy's smoking." And I was like, "What?" He said, "This guy's smoking. There's smoke coming from underneath him." So I go over there and see he's shining his flashlight. You could see kind of smoke coming off of the body, or what appeared to be some smoke coming off the body. So I told my officer, I said, "Hey, get a camera and start taking pictures of the scene," because in my mind I'm thinking, if this catches on fire, we need to get as much photos as we can before we lose the scene to a fire and then firemen shooting water all over everything. So let's try and get as much photos as we can. So then we get closer and he's shining his light, and then you can really start. It was coming, like I said, if he's laying face down on his shoulders, it was more coming from like under him,
around, like
From
his
like the
shoulder.
chest area?
Yeah, from between like the bed and him. So that's why I didn't know, or is it something that's going to start on fire? But then once we got closer, taking a closer look, that's when you could really smell, and it burned inside of your nose, and you could really taste it. So I'm like, hey, we got to clear the guys out of there. This is some kind of chemical that's mixing.
Did you eventually then get a statement from Yoko Willette, the deceased mother?
I talked to her. But I didn't get like an official statement, like a detective.
You spoke with her.
I
Is
spoke
that right?
with her.
What did she share with you?
She shared with me that she last saw them.
And it's not being offered for the truth of the matter, sir. It is just for the investigation and what led to the investigation.
Not enough blood, huh? It's making me think a lot.
After taking this statement, or eventually called the lieutenant to come out?
Yes, that blocking the stores to get detectives and crime scene to supposed to take the kids to school.
Okay. And I believe you mentioned there was crime scene tape that was put up around the residence to lock it down as well.
No, sir.
Okay. And do you remember where your job was that day by chance?
I worked at Hometronics, so I was I didn't know that I put the girls to sleep, and I myself didn't want to sleep because I was working next day.
You had worked the next day?
Yes, sir.
What time did you typically work?
I believe it was 8 a.m. or 8:30.
Okay. So I'm not going to show you a text message, but you remember sending a text message. Do you remember the time of that text message?
I believe it was 10 p.m.
Okay. And so after the text message is sent, do you remember receiving a response from Nikki, or you just go to bed?
I just went to bed.
And if I didn't ask you, where did you go to sleep?
Downstairs in the master bedroom.
The normal place you sleep.
Yes,
when you went to bed, was Nikki home?
No, sir.
That would be why you sent her the text, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember waking up at any point after falling asleep that night?
I remember waking up around 2 to her getting into bed, and since I work early in the morning, I didn't ask anything of it. I just looked over, I saw her, and I went back to sleep.
This was, to you, a normal night, right? You would have no reason to ask her anything, right?
No, because if they were moving things around, if they were just working through the night to try to get it all done.
Okay. When you looked over, did you see anything out of sorts about her? I mean, I understand it was a normal night for you, but like, did you observe anything that was different?
No, sir.
Okay.
You had resentment for your father, fair to say?
No, sir.
And then kind of realized who he was as a person. And when you were talking about moving out of Yoko's house, you said, I got out as soon as I could, correct?
Yes, sir.
Page 5, you're asked, and then I guess, so your mom tells us that he was going to move in here. What's that arrangement? And you said she was going to tell me to move out, or she was going to give me some time, but he needed to get out of Yoko's house, and she was going to let him stay here, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you were going to move out, and you say, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you're telling the detective who you speak to for the first time that you knew that Dad was pushing you out and that you were moving out of the house, correct?
I was told that the day before.
Oh, so now, you said before, until after your death, now you're agreeing you knew at least the day before that your dad was pushing you out of the house, correct?
No, I'm talking about the interview. So when I had the interview with Ozawa, that's when I found out everything prior to the interview.
But you're talking about not talking to him the day before because you know you don't want problems and you know that he's moving in.
That's right.
Page 6. So we don't get along. So she was giving me the heads up so I can move out. Correct?
No, sir.
You're saying no? And I won't misread anything. I mean, these are your words.
Can you repeat it?
So we don't get along. This is like the third time you're saying this. So she was going to give me that heads up so I can move out.
Yes, sir.
And then the detective asks, and this is the second thing about your marriage. He asks you about your marriage, correct? And you say, yeah, we're married.
Yes, sir.
Correct? And you tell the police officer that we're certified, but it's not like we're really. Because she has a whole bunch of health problems, all that stuff. Remember that conversation you had with the detective?
Yes, sir.
So he asked you, so it's just like worked out for like insurance, you're saying? And you say, well, not like anything bad, but like for the girls, correct?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't true, was it? What you were telling the detective, after you're saying that you learned for the first time that your dad's been murdered, what you told him about your marriage wasn't true, was it?
I was also drinking with Dad all night.
You've read through this transcript. You agree with me that you appear to be pretty coherent, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you agree with me that Detective Osaka was kind of confused, and he's saying, well, wait a minute. She had kids with him, but you're his son, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it is clear Yoko didn't know, correct?
Yes, sir.
Page 7, detective asks, again, trying to clarify this relationship and what's really going on. So he asks you, so I didn't know, but you're saying that you guys are married more out of convenience, not like you guys actually love each other. And you respond, yeah, we don't. It's not like that. It's out of convenience, correct?
Yes, sir.
That was a lie, wasn't it?
No, sir.
So you're telling us that you were telling this detective the truth?
Yes, sir.
Then the detective asks you, but do you guys sleep in the same room? And you say no, correct?
Yes, sir.
You guys actually did sleep in the same room. You slept in the same bed, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
But when he asked if you two slept in the same room, you said no, correct?
Yes, sir.
Then he asks you, are you guys intimate at all? And you say no, correct?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't true, was it?
No, sir.
Fair to say that you were downplaying your feelings for your wife when this detective came to ask you about the murder of your father.
Yes, sir, because I didn't know what actually happened to my father.
Please say it again.
Yes, sir, because I didn't actually know what happened to my father.
Okay. But you're lying to the police officer about your relationship with your wife, correct?
Yes, sir.
So the detective, page 8. Okay, so then you knew he was moving in, and she told you that you were going to have to move out. And your response recently, yes. It was kind of a short notice, but yeah. And I mean, I know the person he is, so I was like, okay, whatever, I'll deal with it. That's what you said to the detective, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the detective follows up. Okay, and that's you were going to move out. Did he knew that you lived here, or didn't know that you lived here? And you respond, no, he knows I live here, correct?
My father?
Yeah. Yeah.
That lived in Vegas?
No, that lived in that house. The detective asked him, does he know that you lived here? And you say, yeah, he knows I live here, correct?
Yes, sir.
You did confirm that you knew that she was going over there to your dad's house with the girls, correct?
Yes, sir. That was the joint custody that they had.
Yeah. And the detective, confirming that you know that he's moving in and that you're going out, asks, why was he moving out of the other house? And you said, because all they do is scream and yell. When I was over there, my grandma would go downstairs at 6 in the morning yelling at him for the car payment, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you also say, I think my grandma was kicking him out, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's true. And trust me, I'm not going to tell you anything you didn't say, okay? I'm not trying to trick you. You were asked page 10 by Detective Ozawa, bottom of the page. Okay, so then how long has, I guess, it been planned for them to move John in over here? Your response, I have no idea. Like, it was ran by me that, because we all know how he is. And it's like, okay, if he's moving in here, and if he's going to be homeless, I get it. I can move out and go somewhere, because I have a legitimate job, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this isn't some one-off. You repeatedly confirmed to Detective Ozawa that your dad was moving in and that you were moving out, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you had the legitimate job, correct?
We both had legitimate jobs.
You had a good job.
His job was better than mine.
He was a mover, part-time, correct?
He did everything.
Your grandmother was always angry at him because she owed him money. Fair?
Fair.
But you had a steady job at Hometronics, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you had the good, legitimate job that you were the one getting kicked out, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you go on to state that you're a technician for Hometronics, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that you do security systems, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you install entertainment systems.
Yes, sir.
You told the officer that you'd been doing that for about 2.5 years. Fair?
Yes, sir.
You were asked again by Detective Ozawa, well, since you knew you were moving out, where were you going to move into? Where were you going to move to? And you tell him, and this is page 12, counsel, yeah, like I have some friends down the street that I could roommate with, correct?
Yes, sir.
It made you angry, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you've been in this house with your wife, your dad's moving in, and you have to leave. You're telling us that didn't make you angry?
No, sir.
Now, today you testified that you'd worked the day before, August 6th, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you were actually off the day before, correct? You didn't work on August 6th.
I was drinking a lot, I don't remember.
But you would first tell the police officer, yeah, I worked yesterday, but then...
Sir, I'm going to have to have you to speak up. The jury's having a hard time.
Sorry about that.
Is that better?
If you could just please repeat your answer. Trust me, I'm not trying... If you could speak up, please, and just repeat that last answer.
I was drinking a lot and I don't remember.
But you actually made the same mistake and initially told him I was working yesterday, but then you corrected yourself, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you really weren't drinking that much. Because you at first said, well, I worked yesterday, and then you said, oh, actually, you know what? It was my day off. Correct? Sundays are your days off.
That was 10 years ago, and I was drinking very heavily for my father's death. So I don't.
Okay. But, sir, this conversation occurred August 7th, 2023. All right?
Sorry.
Or, I mean, you do... Fair to say, it hasn't been that long, has it?
Not 10 years.
In reference to the day before, August 6th, and you seeing them moving in, okay, because you actually didn't work the day before. You said, I heard the door open. I thought one of the girls opened the door, so I came down and looked out and saw him unloading stuff. And I was like, oh, all right, whatever. So I closed the door, just didn't hear it, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at this point in time, you tell the detective that you actually don't have a room in the house, correct?
Yes, sir.
But that wasn't true. I mean, you were sleeping with your wife in the same bed, correct?
Yes, sir.
You said that your guy is a hot-tempered guy, correct?
That's what it is?
His father.
Okay, you said your guy.
Yeah. You said He's like a hot-tempered guy, correct?
Yes, sir.
You said he had no filter, that kind of a guy.
Yes, sir.
You were asked, okay, so when you left Yoko's house, and that was a couple of years before, correct?
Yes, sir.
How often do you talk to him? And your answer was not at all, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the detective says, oh, and you say nothing. I mean, you say nothing, correct? Meaning you guys don't talk.
After he found out that we were married, we didn't talk after that.
The detective asks you, he didn't call you or nothing, and you said no, correct?
Yes, sir.
No text, nothing like that, and you said no, correct?
Yes, sir.
The detective then asks you about you speaking with him a couple of months ago, and what did that entail? Like, what were you guys doing at that point? You correct him and say, I didn't say I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then the detective says, I thought you said the last time you spoke with, like actually talked to him, was a couple of months ago. And you say, well, like it was probably years, correct?
Yes, sir.
You say, he doesn't call me on my birthday, not on Happy New Year's, like none of that. So not Thanksgiving, so we just didn't talk, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you're asked by the detective, counsel is on page 18, is there anything you can think of that you haven't told me that you think might be important for us to know? And you say, correct?
Yes, sir.
So they're there trying to figure out this dynamic, and you've lied to them about the relationship that you have with your wife, and you've lied to him about the living arrangement where you're getting kicked out by your father, correct? He's moving you out.
Yes, sir, because I didn't know what exactly had happened.
You did say that it was kind of a shit show at the other house, correct?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't the first time that you had discussed issues concerning this dynamic, correct? Concerning your wife, you, your father, the moving arrangements, correct? You were interviewed another time, correct? By another officer. And you reviewed that in preparation, the transcript, in preparation for your testimony today.
Yes, sir.
That interview occurred September 12th, 2023, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this detective now, after speaking to you, and it's a little bit into the interview, tells you, well, you know, you weren't the main suspect. You know what I mean? This is, meaning the situation is a little different than hers. We're here to, you didn't do it, to clear you, correct? You recall that conversation?
When was this again?
I'm sorry?
When did this conversation happen again?
September 12th, 2023.
Yes, sir.
Remember that? I mean, you're there being interviewed concerning being a potential suspect. And you remember the date, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're being told now that we're working to clear you, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were relieved, fair to say?
Yes, sir.
The detective asked you, does that make sense? And you say it does, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then the detective says, the chances of you even being there are so slim that it's just, there's, that's not even on the radar, correct?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you had told law enforcement that you weren't close to Devyn. You didn't really have a real marriage. And things aren't that bad with your dad, and you're basically being told, hey, it's good. You're good, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you're left there sitting for a little while, and the room's being recorded, and you say this is going to be a fucking Netflix series, correct?
I don't remember.
I told you that you said that. Would you have any reason to disagree with me?
I'm just letting you know I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
And before I forget, I'm sorry for going back, but there was some discussion with Detective Ozawa about the problem the morning, August 7th, about your wife trying to register the girls. Your dad was supposed to have registered them, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's because they were moving into the house, and the girls were starting at that school, correct?
Yes, sir.
So that's, again, a confirmation that you knew. You knew that they were moving into the house. Correct?
Yes, sir.
You testified before a grand jury, a little different room, but you were put under oath and you were called as a witness on.
So I do got one more thing that we could cover. I was gonna do a show about it later, but I guess we could cover a little bit of it now. The Tay K, y'all remember Tay K, the one that did the race, the one that said I did the race song. Yeah, I got the hearing of when he was trying to get a retrial. The judge did him kind of shady on that retrial hearing. Like, she was like, the judges, they be fighting against the defendants, and that's crazy. Like, to have that, like, how can you ever get a fair trial if the judge be fighting against you too? Like, that don't make no sense. But let me see, I got the clip. Let me see, I'll pull it up right here. But I load it up while it's playing, and by the time that finished, they should be just about coming back from lunch.
September 14th, just a couple days after that last interview, correct?
Yes, sir.
And under oath, you testified, like you did initially today, that you were unaware that your father was moving into the house, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that it was something that you had learned after your father's death, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that there were no discussions about you potentially moving out, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, are you already on tape?
In fact, that's exactly what you said. No, sir. There was never a discussion, and you said no, sir, but there was. There were multiple discussions, correct?
So that I can remember this.
You were asked, were you estranged from your father? And you said, we didn't get along, correct?
Only while working, sir, yes.
I'm sorry?
Only while we worked here.
So you're still saying you guys got along just fine, but it was just work related?
Anytime I was with him, I had a good time.
I see. But you guys don't text, you don't call, correct?
Not after he found out I was married.
All right, are you already on Tamar McIntyre?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 12495 State versus Tamar McIntyre. Could I have parties announced?
State, John Hunter for Mr. McIntyre, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. McIntyre?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, State defense has filed a motion for new trial. Have you had a chance to review that?
I did review.
And are you ready to proceed on it? All right, so the court has read the motion for new trial. I think the motion for new trial clearly has the defense's arguments in it. So with regards to number one,
Yes, Your Honor.
any rebuttal?
Yes, Your Honor. And that, I believe that's the NCIC, TCIC argument, I guess, of the defense. Our position is that we did make it available during court proceedings, and they had access to the actual TCIC, NCICs. And through our understanding of the policy is that we can't allow them to duplicate or keep or make copies of, and that's by, I believe, state orders on that. So that's our position on that front.
All right.
Megan Dowling for the state. Just briefly, if I could address that point, and I want to reiterate the arguments that I made at trial, which is that 411.083 of the Texas Government Code is what governs the dissemination of the criminal histories. They were provided to Mr. Hunter and not stipulated to in the motion. He states that the state did provide him those. And so that is our position. It would have been a violation of law to allow him to keep them or to reproduce.
All right. And then defense, because it's your motion for new trial, I'll give you the final response with regards to the state's answer to defense's number one.
Yes, Your Honor, and forgive me, I did not prepare to proceed today. I came to court because the law requires me to show you the motion within 10 days.
Yes.
And so I haven't, I wasn't anticipating actually discussing the merits of it today, but if the court wishes us to proceed with that, I mean, our position with respect to the NCIC argument is fairly simple. We cite issue case law, which the courts have addressed this subject matter before and have recognized that it is covered by the Michael Morton Act and that it would be required to be produced. As a practical matter.
Well, you're saying produced, but the state is saying that they did produce it. They just didn't allow you to copy it or leave with it.
It was given to us on the first day of the trial. And in the process of trying to make use of it and note it down, we got into an argument about whether or not we'd be able to photocopy, which we immediately brought to the court's attention. We had an argument in which the court concluded that we were not entitled to copies of it, which we
does the law say that you are allowed to make copies?
I believe that that is what those cases that we have cited for stands for, that proposition, that it is producible under the Michael Morton Act in all ways that other discovery is producible. The state's contention that there is a statute that privileges it from disclosure, I think, is being misinterpreted.
Okay, they're not saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're not saying that it doesn't prohibit them from disclosure. They're saying, yes, we do disclose it to you, but you're not allowed to copy it or leave the courtroom with it. Am I misinterpreting what's being said?
That is their argument. Yes.
All right. So
we just disagree with that position. I don't think the law supports it. And we also would maintain, as we maintained at the trial, that as a consequence of, well, let me rephrase that. To the extent that there is any countervailing or overarching privilege that would run afoul of the case law that we've cited, Your Honor, about its discoverability, or that would limit our ability to use it from how we would otherwise be entitled to use discovery, I would maintain that that privilege is waived by two separate independent actions. The first is this isn't a situation where we're trying to snoop on these people's lives outside of the context of defending Mr. McIntyre. He is indicted. The state made that decision. When the state or the government have a privileged interest in the privacy of certain sensitive information, and they elect to indict someone for a criminal offense over it, then they can't be in the position of being able to still hold on to that privilege. They waive it. Secondarily, they have run the TCIC, NCIC for these individuals, which is the triggering event. The database is curated not by this office. It's curated by the Texas Department of Public Safety and the FBI. They query that database. They are only allowed to query that database if they have a good faith reason to do so in the execution of their duties and responsibilities as members of the district attorney's office. They can't just go pull NCIC, TCIC on you or me because they're upset with us, or they for a petty difference.
You're saying that they were upset with somebody, that's why they...
No, I'm giving this as an example. I have had cases in the past where I have defended policemen who were accused of improperly querying the TCIC, NCIC database for petty reasons.
So we're not saying that any NCIC, TCIC was queried without a good faith basis.
No. In fact, quite the opposite. We know that there was a good faith basis because this is the TCIC, NCIC for their witnesses. And Brady versus Maryland, and every case that has come since it, says that they have to give me that information.
Okay,
that is a
so
requirement.
then the main argument, and so let's stick with what the argument is. And if I'm wrong in interpreting what's being said by both parties, the argument is not that you received the information. Your sole basis is that you should have been allowed to photograph or reproduce or take the item, the NCIC, TCIC with you?
We want to be able to use it in every single way that you can use.
No, my question, I'm trying to get to specifics. The specific is, well, let me start with this. Number one, was the NCIC, TCIC provided?
So I'm not speaking about liking her or not. My whole thing is, why are the judges always arguing with the defense? Like, they don't do that with the prosecution. They sit there and try to find any way, any pinhole they can to poke in the defense argument to drop their stuff. They ignore what they be talking about. I mean, I don't know about her. I don't watch her a lot, but I ain't talking about all the time. I'm talking about this specific argument that they making right now. It's always the judge that's up here rebutting and fighting the case. You saying stuff that the prosecution not even saying. You defending them is what I'm saying. That's not a equal judge. That's like, it's crazy. And then she looked for any little loophole to get out and to deny the motion. Any reason she could find, she looking for it. Like, she don't do that to help the defense. She only do that to help the prosecution. And just, as well as all judges that I've seen.
Brought it to you, yes or no?
It was handed to me, and I had about 10 minutes with it before we had to turn it back over.
Okay, so
in this case, I'm talking about in this case.
Now, with regards to it being handed to you, then it was handed to you. The next question is, your sole objection or request for a motion for new trial with regards to point one is that you were not allowed to photograph it or take it with you. Am I correct in that?
The contention is twofold. The first problem is that we were not allowed to photograph it, take it with us, duplicate it in any way. We had to turn it back over. And as we explained in our second argument, that became an acutely problematic issue because we were unable to make use of that information to respond to the state's argument that for authenticity reasons, we were not entitled to offer Joanna Reyes's prior judgment of conviction at sentencing.
All right, so let's start with this point. First point, state, when was the NCIC, TCIC given to defense?
Prior to jury selection.
And the prior to jury selection, was this the NCIC, TCIC that was given to the defense prior to the jury selection? Do you remember which witnesses those would have been?
It was for all witnesses listed in discovery.
So with that all
so for this argument, and I ain't even saying that they won. I mean, you know, it's just the way that they portray the situation that I'm talking about. I ain't saying that the defense won the argument, but I'm just saying just the way they put it out there. But right now they talking about some evidence that they had, and they showed it to the defense before jury selection or during jury selection, and they only gave it to them for that day, whatever limited the time for that day. And then they wasn't able to look at it, they wasn't able to study it or you know, no copies of it, no photocopies, none of that, so they can learn more about it. Like almost like having Brady evidence, but then they say, I showed it to you, so now it's not Brady no more, but give it back and you can't look at it no more. And you can't use it against us, because then they end up later on lying about the information that was in that evidence. They lied about it in their closing arguments, which closing arguments ain't that big of a deal anyway, but still they lied. So that's the whole thing. And then it just went, oh, it's my bad, I just lied, so oh well, I made a mistake, but oh well, denied.
Also have included Joanna Reyes.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So you're saying that was given prior to jury selection?
It was, Your Honor.
All right. So it's the court's understanding that for purposes of cross-examination, NCIC, TCIC are considered timely if they're given before cross-examination. But my understanding is that the state gave it to you prior to jury selection. So the first question is, were the NCICs, TCIC given to the defense prior to jury selection?
A stack of paper was handed to me.
No, my question is,
I want to make sure the record is clear.
I want the record to be
question
clear
is
too.
not accurate. I mean,
I want to know, they're saying that they gave the NCIC, TCIC of all witnesses to you before jury selection. And it seems your main complaint in here is regarding Joanna Reyes. So my question for the defense is whether or not the NCIC, TCIC for all the state's witnesses, were they given to you prior to jury selection? Then we can handle your other point.
The word given is not a word that I can address in that.
Were they handed to you?
I held them in my hand for a few minutes. I didn't have an opportunity to digest their contents fully. I wasn't allowed to copy them. Almost immediately afterwards, I was told that their position was going to be that I wasn't going to be allowed to copy them. I had to instruct my
Okay, so
staff.
here's the thing.
Let me just finish real quick.
No.
You want- I need
Because
to- I
now
need to-
stop. We're taking it one point at a time. My first question is, were they given to you prior to jury selection? It seems that your answer to that is yes. Then
Yeah, that was the defense right there. He was kind of dumb because she asked him a very specific question, but he know where she going, so he trying to beat her to it and try to finish that, but she's going one step at a time. So you got to answer yes to that, and that's how they play you.
we'll get into what you were not able to do with them. So the record is clear. My understanding from you is that witnesses who are going to testify in the state's case in chief, their NCIC, TCIC was given to you prior to jury selection. Now that that's been established, then the next question becomes, what were you able to do with the NCIC, TCIC that was given to you?
Nothing.
All right. So you said, were you allowed to because in your motion, you say you were not allowed to electronically duplicate. Were you allowed to electronically duplicate them?
No.
Were you allowed to copy them?
No.
Were you allowed to photograph them?
No.
And I'm taking that straight from your motion. So state, with regards to
right there, why she asked all them questions if she wasn't gonna do nothing about it? Then she about to ask the state why they didn't let her do it, but watch, and then she gonna just say, oh well, denied.
the NCIC, TCIC that was handed over to the defense, you're saying it was all of your witnesses in the case in chief.
Yes, Your Honor.
The defense is saying they were not allowed to electronically duplicate, copy, or photograph any of the NCICs, TCICs. Now, why were you not allowing the defense to either electronically duplicate, copy, or photograph the NCIC, TCIC?
Because I didn't want to be charged with a misdemeanor offense.
All right, and where are you obtaining that from, the fact that you would be charged?
Your Honor, I previously stated there are two subsections of law that govern the dissemination of criminal histories. The first being Title 28, Part 20 of the Code of the Federal Regulations, and then the second being 411.083 of the Texas Government Code.
All right, so the state is saying that they could not allow you to electronically duplicate, copy, or photograph based upon Title 28 of the Federal Code and also Chapter 4 of the Government Code. What is your response?
Several things. First, we do not believe that those provisions prohibit a defense lawyer from taking possession of the criminal histories for the purposes of defending a man at trial. That is not the purpose of those laws. That is our position. Secondly.
All right, let me just stop you for a moment. When you say taking possession of it, what do you mean by it doesn't prohibit you from taking possession? What is your definition of taking possession of the NCIC, TCIC, as you see it?
A lawyer should be able to keep the paper with him for the course of the trial so that it can be read, it can be understood, and it can be researched further. And none of those things were able to be accomplished. I was unable to finish reading the histories. I was unable to digest their contents or understand them or make any meaningful use of them. I was unable to copy them so that I could do that when we weren't in court at recess at any point.
All right, so when you say taking possession, you mean keeping the paper. And when you say keeping the paper, for the record, we're talking about the NCIC, TCIC. When you say keeping the paper, do you mean...
Look, why are they trying to complicate it? I'm talking about being able to use it as part of my defense and being able to research it. Like, why is that so hard? Like, it's part of the evidence, discovery. You know how you guys give discovery? It's supposed to be part of the discovery.
Leaving the courtroom with the paper.
I mean, I could not leave the courtroom with the paper. I could not photocopy the paper. I could not make use of the paper. And we had to give it back at the end of the day or at some point during the process. I wasn't able to read or digest the information while I was participating in my other roles as being Mr. McIntyre's lawyer. Counsel said it was handed prior to jury selection. That sounds right. I don't have independent recollection of the day, but we were involved in jury selection for all day and into the evening. It was a lengthy process. And so there was not an opportunity to make any use of it. Also, I can just say, Your Honor, in both federal and state trials that I have participated in, I have never had this issue come up before. I have had prosecutors with the Department of Justice hand me the Jenks material, which would include the criminal history material, prior to the commencement of trial. I understand that the Jenks Act similarly narrows that compulsory moment of disclosure to when the witness is passed for cross-examination, but almost every judge in the United States has recognized that while that law may be that that's when it must be produced, that isn't a fair system. It doesn't provide for meaningful.
And that's where he lost again. That was another point loss. Talking about fair. They don't care nothing about you talking about what's fair. That was a point loss. She was waiting for that. Watch her strike.
Cross-examination.
And somebody needs to change the law. And counsel, I'm sure as you're aware, sometimes people do.
That isn't a fair system. It doesn't provide for meaningful cross-examination.
And somebody needs to change the law. And counsel, I'm sure as you're aware, sometimes people do things that are inappropriate legally, but they do them and nobody ends up saying it.
Look, she looked directly at the camera. Sometimes people do things and nobody does nothing. They don't get prosecuted. They don't get in trouble. They know they lying and don't nobody do nothing. Looking directly at the camera.
Anything, nobody ends up, you're aware. Sometimes people do things that are inappropriate legally, but they do them and nobody ends up saying anything. Nobody ends up charging anybody within anything. But in this court, I'm just here, Mr. McIntyre, to listen to arguments and follow the law. That's my role here as far as this case is concerned, because the jury trial is the parties that made the decision.
Your Honor.
What up, Michelle B? TK was trying to get a retrial. They was trying to get the trial thrown out and say it was unfair, but they didn't do such a good job with this argument. But the judge doing her, I don't know. She ain't helping. She being just as biased anyway.
So what I'm saying is I don't think that the law has to be changed because I don't think that the law comes to this conclusion.
But he didn't come with a good enough argument to fight it anyway. So she did the right thing from her seat, I guess.
I think that the conclusion the state's asking you to draw from it is not what the law means in its full synthesis, and that the court's responsibility is to allow the lawyers to be able to provide a meaningful defense to the defendant, which includes having access to the impeachment material that is involved in the case. And in particular, Your Honor, what I think we also need to draw clear is that this isn't just about the general frustration, although there is that general frustration of not having the ability to use that information and have it on counsel table's desk at the exact time that we are at cross-examination or preparing the evening before with that information. Those things all occurred. And so there is a global harm there. But the specific and acute harm, and the reason why a new trial should be granted in this case, is because, as ground two establishes, we have a situation here where the prosecution has misrepresented the criminal history of its most important witness and did nothing to correct that record, even though the very documents we are talking about here, the TCIC, NCIC records, are the proof that it was a misrepresentation. And so that's what really ties this thing together, is that the TCIC, NCIC is being used as both a shield and a sword against the defense. And that's not its purpose. That's the bigger overarching issue here. And certainly with respect to both constitutional law, as it pertains to what due process of law for a criminal defendant means, and in terms of the full synthesis of why these laws exist and what their purpose is and how those things are supposed to operate, it simply is not the case that the court could not authorize the defense to have access to that information during the proceedings. And we were amenable then, we told the court we were amenable then, that we would have taken it under protective order. But that option was not explored.
All right. So with regards to the defense request for a motion for new trial under point one, that will be denied. Point two, misstatements of the prosecution in closing argument. What misstatements?
The state in closing argument told the jury that Joanna Reyes should be credited with belief because she had abided by the conditions of her bail on her tampering case, on her capital murder case, and had not done anything illegal, had not broken the law. And we quote the argument verbatim in the motion.
Y'all said she got in trouble about a year ago because of her streaming. I was wondering that when I was recording this clip, because I was like, dang, she streamed all her cases. I wonder if she monetized, because it's like now you making money off of sending people to jail on the side too, or what? type of business is going on here? I mean, a lot of judges stream, but I don't know if they be monetized or not.
We approached and explained that's just simply not true. Joanna Reyes, after she was charged in Mr. McIntyre's case, and after she entered her plea of guilty to tampering with evidence, and after her sentencing was held in abeyance and postponed pending the outcome of Mr. McIntyre's trial, she went out and obtained criminal conviction for the felony offense of credit card and debit card abuse. She was also arrested and charged with unlawful carry of a weapon. That case was dismissed because she pled to a different offense. We've included all of those records that we've obtained from the Harris County clerk as exhibits in the motion for new trial, which we'd ask that the court receive. We also made a bill of exception at the trial of the judgment of conviction for credit card and debit card abuse at the sentencing phase of the trial, which we'd ask the court to take into consideration as well. There's just no question that the state told the jury something that isn't true. Now, listen, I think Jason Garahan is a very reputable, honest, and hardworking prosecutor, and I have immense respect for him. I don't know why they said this, but it's just not true. It's objectively false.
All right, response.
Well, Your Honor, with respect to the statement, I trust that their motion states what I said during argument, which is closing argument during the guilt innocence. And what it may be, slip of the tongue, or the fact that I misstated that Joanna Reyes had a, I don't know exactly what was said, but alluded to the fact that she didn't break her bond is something that can be argued that it was done by mistake on my part. That may be, but the fact remains is that argued that it was done by mistake on my part. That may be, but the fact remains is that the defense counsel knew about this and did not bring this up during her cross-examination. And the fact is that the jury is well aware of her credibility, or credibility issues, if you may, of her being a co-defendant to a capital murder, and of her testimony that she gave during the portion of guilt innocence. And touching on the subject of the prior judgment, defense had every opportunity to recall Joanna Reyes onto the stand during punishment, which they chose not to do. And, if they considered our duty or their duty, the fact is that their client was the one that was facing 5 to 99 years of life, and they could have called back Joanna Reyes and questioned her on the subject, and they chose not to. That fact does remain there, Judge. So that's the state's position on it.
Judge, I have just one more thing. Closing arguments are just that, arguments. They're not evidence. And the jury was instructed about that multiple times. And so that would just be another argument regarding that.
All right. With regards to point 2, the motion for new trial will be denied with regards to point 2. All right. Thank you.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
I guess, well, we don't need to go right. I'll be filing an amended notice of appeal to include the denial of the motion for retrial.
Sure.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
Daniel Berry Sports Highlights in the building. What's good, family? For all my sports watchers, y'all go check out Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Appreciate you being here. Much love, much love. Is the judge even taking any notice? Judge was like, whatever, denied. I'm not doing it again. Denied. Let me play that end part.
To point 2, the motion.
And they could have called back Joanna Reyes and questioned her on the subject, and they chose not to. That fact does remain there, Judge. So that's the state's position on it.
Judge, I have just one more thing. Closing arguments are just that, arguments. They're not evidence. And the jury was instructed about that multiple times. And so that would just...
They're arguments. They're not evidence. They always say that when they lying. Like, why don't y'all stop lying? How about that? They're just arguments. We can lie because it's not evidence.
See another argument regarding that.
All right. With regards to point 2, the motion for new trial will be denied with regards to point 2. All right. Thank you.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
Denied.
I guess, well, we don't need to go right. I'll be filing an amended notice of appeal to include the denial of the motion for retrial.
Sure.
No retrial for you. I think they already did sentencing too. If not, they should be coming up. I had to look it up. I think he already got sentenced though for that. All right, they should be coming back. We'll get back to a little wind down from where we was at. And as soon as they get back, we'll be back, family. Appreciate y'all. Let's keep it rolling.
Today, now that she's on trial, you testified that you woke up at 2 o'clock on the morning of the 7th and she was in bed, correct?
Yes, sir.
But when you testified to the grand jury, you testified that you never woke up at all, correct? I'm referring to page.
80 years. Trakisha say he got 80 years. You know what? Actually, I think I did cover that too. I'm tripping. I think I do remember seeing that. 80 years. My memory be jacked, y'all. My bad.
17, 18.
Yes, sir.
So your testimony is different again today on that point, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because obviously you waking up is kind of a big deal, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you were actually awake at 2 a.m. on the 7th, weren't you?
I woke up to her getting in bed, and I looked over at her and saw that she got in bed, and I rolled back over and went to sleep.
You had been calling her that night from the home phone, correct? Well, she's with your dad.
We don't have a home phone.
Testimony is that you don't have a home phone. All right. So it's your testimony that you
Remember the lady said they had a home phone, the detective lady?
didn't call over and over again?
I believe I sent a text and she didn't reply, and then that's when I put the girls to sleep and I went to sleep myself.
But that wasn't the only night that she was out with your dad. She was with your dad till like 1 a.m. the night before, correct?
Possibly moving things, yes.
So 2 nights in a row, she's with your dad and she's not home, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, through the course of your grand jury testimony, you are asked by a grand juror, because unlike this, I mean, grand jurors can ask you questions, correct? I mean, that was your understanding. They spoke to you.
Yes, sir.
You were asked how long you and Devyn had been married, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you answered 3 years.
Yes, sir.
And then there's some follow-up questions. Just like to ask you a couple more questions about that. Did you and Devyn... I'm sorry, page 35. Did you and Devyn get married in the traditional sense? And you answered, yes, it was more of me helping out with the girls when she couldn't find a babysitter. So I figured, well, we both kind of sat and talked about it. When she has to go to work and can't find a babysitter, I could be there. She also had a whole bunch of medical problems, and it was very expensive to keep the girls at daycare, and she's sitting in the hospital, so I would normally be there to watch them. And then there's a question, okay, I'm sorry to ask, was an intimate relationship that you were in with Devyn at some point? And your testimony under oath to this grand jury on this day was, yes, after the first year it started to get intimate, correct?
Yes, sir.
After the first year of marriage, it started to get intimate, correct?
Objection, it does not say that.
The context of the question, I've read it, it speaks for itself.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the jury can determine what the context is. You just need to read the freedom. So that objection will be sustained.
And if I may just read then for the record, I mean, this is prior testimony.
This is from the grand jury?
Correct.
What page are you on?
Page 35. I'll start at line 15, page 35, by juror. How long have you and Devyn been married? Answer, 3 years. Question. If I could ask you just a couple more questions about that, did you and Devyn get married in the traditional sense? Yes. Answer. But it was more of me helping out with the girls when she couldn't find a babysitter. So I figured, well, we both kind of sat and talked about it. When she has to go to work and can't find a babysitter, I could be there. She also had a whole bunch of medical problems, and it's very expensive to keep the girls at a daycare when she's sitting in the hospital, so I would normally be there to watch them. Question. Okay. And I'm sorry to ask, was it an intimate relationship that you were in with Devyn at some point? Yes. After the first year, it started to get intimate. Next question. Did it remain intimate up until the time of your father's death? Yes.
Wow, 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 wow. If you feeling fine. Let's get it on.
You're getting closer to the truth of the nature of your relationship, the farther it is that you get away from perhaps being charged with his murder. Fair to say?
Can you repeat the question?
You're getting more and more truthful concerning the nature of your relationship with Devyn, the further it gets away from your having been charged or being charged. Fair to say?
Yes, sir.
You testified today that you didn't remember the date that you married her, correct? Your testimony that
If he wasn't watching before, I bet he watching now.
you don't remember marrying her on December 21st, 2021?
No, sir.
Are these in stipulated? Thank you. There'll be exhibit numbers, but I'm going to show you some pictures, okay? And these were taken from your phone. From his phone.
Can we just, are those stipulated too?
Yeah, we have no objection. We just want a copy because
absolutely
we've just seen them. But
Okay.
I think we do for
Objecting to this stuff?
correct. I think
Okay, well, let's just make the record.
Yeah.
What are the
Yeah, they put them on. This is L3. It's been marked by your clerk. He was ahead of me, so thank you.
Right, but I think she can tell me what it is, so we can put it on the record.
Okay. L3.
It's L3?
Yeah, is that L3?
Yes.
Okay.
So L3, well, Mr. Dress, what's it, if the whole packet's being stipulated to, let's just admit the packet now, and
Okay.
you can show any ones you want.
Okay.
So L3 to what?
Hang on just a second. A3 to S3.
Okay, A3 to S3 is a mental stipulation, we have to eventually post them all.
And in the interest of time, and since these will go back, I'm not going to go through each and every one of them. If we could please,
In the front.
right here?
Yeah.
Do you remember that date?
I remember the date.
Okay. But you do remember marrying her, correct?
Yes, sir.
Remember this?
Yes, sir.
Now, what exhibit was that?
This is exhibit K3. And we're going to be showing you L3. Remember this?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, fair to say you and she had a traditional marriage, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
I mean, obviously it was a fairly passionate relationship, wasn't it?
You got weird, yeah.
I mean, for good and bad, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, she had sent you a text just days before this case began about get out of the house. Do you recall that? Get your stuff. Don't think you're coming back. I want a divorce.
I don't remember anything like that.
And you're still married to her, correct?
Yes, sir.
After things went down in this case, you moved to California, correct?
Yes, sir.
Through the course of your marriage to her, you wore a wedding ring, didn't you?
In my time in Vegas, yeah.
And she wore a wedding ring too, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was a symbol of the commitment that you had to each other, correct? Rings are.
Yes, sir.
I'm showing you what's been admitted Defense Exhibit B3. That was the ring that she wore, correct?
Yes, sir.
You worked at Hometronics and you had tools, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were good at installing home security systems, correct?
Yes, sir.
You had hundreds of pictures on your phone of various systems that you installed, correct?
Yes, sir. After I was done with the job, I had to upload it to the Hometronics website to prove that I got the job done.
Y'all back already. Judge ain't back yet. She said, give me a couple more minutes. Let me put this blunt out. Judge went on a smoke break.
And Your Honor, this is Defense Exhibit. Looks like B1 through V2. We're moving through the admission. These are just images of security systems.
B1 through B2.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Without going through all these exhibits, you would acknowledge and you understand that the detectives took your phone and took a whole bunch of other phones, correct?
Yes, sir.
And before you even took the stand in front of these people today, you know that we, all these lawyers, have access to your most personal, intimate conversations.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you doing your best to recall 2 years ago, back to 8 years ago, in front of this jury?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you say, sitting on the stand today, you say, I believe I worked on August 6th. Is that what you believe?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Draskovich made a big point of this, and I want to address it real quickly. Page 13 of the voluntary statement, counsel. This is about working the day before. Actually, it's bottom of page 12. The detective asks you, okay, is that what time you got off? And I'm going to be exactly precise with the words from this transcript, okay?
Yes, sir.
You respond, sometimes a little earlier. The detective asks, is that what time you got off yesterday? You respond, I got off yesterday at about, wait now, today's Monday. Yesterday was Sunday, right? And the detective responds, yeah. Then you respond, yeah, I didn't work yesterday. Does that sound accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I can show you this at any point if you need to see it. My point is, and my question is, on August 7th, you learned your father died from your grandfather, correct?
Yes, sir.
You have, you were at work, and then you go home and you start drinking, correct?
Yes, sir.
You learn a little bit later that it's...
All right, for the jury.
Well, isn't this a nice surprise?
Please be seated, Your Honor. The jury's all present and accounted for.
We are back on the record in C-377-239, David versus Devyn Michaels. May the record reflect Devyn Michaels is present as her attorney. Deputy District Attorney, on behalf of the state, and both parties give way to the presence of our jury.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Steve, may I call your next witness?
Janice Ozawa.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Full name is Dennis Ozawa. First name Dennis, last name Ozawa.
Sir, what do you do for a living?
Currently a detective with the Henderson Police Department.
How long have you been a detective with Henderson?
Approximately approximately 10 years.
And how long have you been in your current assignment?
Approximately 8.
What is your current assignment?
I'm with the Crimes Against Persons Unit.
And what does that entail generally?
The Crimes Against Persons Unit, it entails we investigate a wide variety of violent crimes in the city of Henderson, to include robberies, kidnappings, shootings, death investigations, officer-involved shootings, and homicides also.
And so you've been doing that for 8 years. What were you doing in the 2 years prior as a detective?
I was a fraud detective prior.
And what were you doing prior to that?
Patrol officer.
How long were you a patrol officer approximately?
Approximately 10 years.
During the course of your career, sir, have you received numerous trainings on law enforcement best practices?
Correct.
And during the course of your career, have you responded to hundreds of crime scenes?
Correct.
In your 8 years with homicide, have you ever responded to a decapitation case prior to this case?
I have not.
Fair to say that this particular investigation was a large one?
Yes.
Entailing many support personnel such as crime scene analysts, other detectives from homicide, and actually some other detectives from other units called in to assist in the investigation.
That is correct.
In this particular case, did you get called out to a homicide at 2698 Paladura on August 7th, 2023?
I did.
Do you remember around what time you were called out?
I believe it was approximately in 9:40 is when we were notified.
9:40 in the morning?
Correct.
And what time was the actual call for service, sir?
I believe it was approximately 8:40 in the morning.
Who was the person reporting?
LOKO Willette.
What was the general information you received before responding to the scene?
From what we were told, that from dispatch, that LOKO had called in, advised that she had found her son, Jonathon Willette, in his bedroom, and he was all bloody, and believes that he was dead at that time.
And so, is it fair to assume that fire and first responders went out to the scene before you did?
Yes.
And it was confirmed that Jonathon was in fact deceased?
That is correct.
Did you say the victim's full name for the record?
Jonathon Willette.
Okay. Once you arrive at the scene, you get called out around 9:40. What happens when you arrive?
When we arrive, we meaning our Crimes Against Person Unit plus the crime scene analysts, we start to show up. As soon as we all arrive, we're waiting for a brief from the supervisor who's on scene. And then once we're there, he provides the brief, basically kind of explain what they did as far as entering the house, any observations that they made at that point, and then the fact that they had probably talked to LOKO, and then we found out about another person that was there at the time with LOKO. I believe his name was Masao Yoshida, that they were the only two there at the house. And then the supervisor at that time was Sergeant Shields, who we had spoke with to give us the brief.
Okay. Once you get your briefing from Sergeant Shields, is there a quick walkthrough done of the scene?
That's correct.
In addition to that, did you assign various investigators to different tasks in and around the scene?
That is correct.
Was witness canvassing conducted?
Yes.
What does that mean for the jury?
For witness canvassing, we have other detectives kind of walk around the neighborhood and knock on doors, see if anybody heard or seen anything that night. And then for us, we're going to be talking to the witnesses that were on scene at that time too.
During the course of the witness canvassing, did you learn of any witness who suggested that they heard a gunshot any time during our operative time period?
No.
Was there video canvassing done as well?
That is correct.
What does video canvassing generally entail?
Typically it's in the same way where we have detectives go out, knock on doors, and try to find out if anybody has any video surveillance attached to their residence, and if they captured any kind of footage that would be beneficial to our investigation.
And those detectives who do that, are they documenting what they find?
That's correct.
And then ultimately, you as the lead investigator, do you receive that documentation?
Correct.
And then is it your responsibility to then transfer that documentation into an overall report so the lawyers in a murder trial can actually see what was done and who did it, and et cetera?
That is correct.
In this particular case, was the entire investigation documented under Henderson Police Department event number 23-15229?
Yes.
During the course of the video canvassing, did you learn that there were some people who had cameras that were not initially contacted?
Can you rephrase that?
So, well, let me ask it in an easier way. Did the video canvassing occur over the course of several days?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So maybe not all done on day one, but there's follow-up and stuff that's occurring.
Yeah, as the investigation continued, we continued to try and look for more video surveillance throughout the investigation.
All right. So let's talk about the scene generally. I want to start with the outside. What did you observe outside, meaning vehicles or anything of note?
So when I arrived, I observed that the area being the actual residence, had been taped off with crime scene tape. There was a white truck parked out in front with a trailer attached to it. That it was parked on the wrong side of the road, which then that kind of brought notice to us that also the trailer was kind of out a little bit into the road, which in our eyes, or in my opinion, looked like someone was there for a quick trip, not someone that wanted to park there and leave it there overnight. There was also a cone that was in the driveway that we later found out that was indicated that patrol believed that there was possibly a blood mark right there, and then the garage had actually been partially open from the bottom.
And in addition to the truck with the trailer, there was also a small sedan out front, correct?
Correct, and that was parked across the street.
And ultimately, did you determine who was the owner of that vehicle?
We did.
Who was that?
A female named Andrea Reyes, who then we discovered was an ex-girlfriend who recently broke up with our victim, Jonathon Willette.
Based on the fact that her vehicle was out front at the home, was she a person of interest initially?
Correct.
Did you do
Oh, yeah, the whole ex-girlfriend there too? Oh, snaps.
follow-up investigation to include obtaining her call detail records as well as interviewing her?
That's correct.
Do you remember which detective interviewed Andrea?
It would have been Detective Lionel.
Okay. Without getting into her statement, that would be hearsay, but like, did you learn anything of big evidentiary value related to Andrea?
Not from Andrea. We learned that we had been told that she was in another state at the time. That was in question. And then after talking to her, we found out that she confirmed that. And then with the records that we got from her phone later, confirmed that she was in a different state at the time that we were looking at.
Okay, but nonetheless, you look into it. Her car's out front. You gotta check your boxes, right?
That's correct.
Did you?
Without that phone, they ain't got nothing. That's the reason why the son is free right now, because his phone say he was at home.
Describe the actual scene walkthrough when you go inside. What do you remember about it?
So when we go in through the front door, to get, I guess, a little descriptive, you walk in, there's a flight of stairs that you go up that kind of takes you to a small den area, and then you have stairs off to the right side of us that take you up to the second floor. And then if you continue to move forward a little bit more, there's the kitchen area. And then to the right of that, you have to walk back down a few flights of stairs, which is where Jonathon Willette's bedroom, makeshift bedroom would be, because it's, I guess, technically a living room, but it's converted to like his bedroom. I believe there were some sheets that were kind of covering the entrance up. I guess we would say that it's using for privacy. And then once you walk down those stairs, you end up going into his bedroom. Can't see the bed where he was lying at that time, because it's kind of tucked back in the corner. And then as you kind of move forward more into the room, you can see the bed, you see the blankets. You can't see him yet, and you don't see him or his body until you get closer to the front of the bed, and then you start to wrap around. Then at that point you can start seeing the blood on the bed, blood stains, and then blood next to the bed at that point. And then when we get closer, or at least when I got closer, you could have that chemical smell that started burning your nose and your eyes at that time, which we were told from Sergeant Shields originally that was the same thing that they smelled, and I think they actually also mentioned that they had saw smoke coming from the body when they went through at their time. But there's also the chemical bottles that were observed in the hallway, ammonia, I believe it was bleach. And later on, we actually did search what, if you actually combine those together, what it does. It actually creates a toxic gas called chloramine. That was just something that was found out later. And then as you get, like I said, you got closer to the bed, you can see his body where it's just the top of his shoulders. The blanket was pulled up. And then you did not see you didn't see his head, obviously. His neck was severed. Blood was there on the blanket. And then we also noticed that there wasn't any blood spatter on the walls or on the ceiling. Just given the type of injury that we were seeing, you expect to probably see a little bit more blood in other places. And then just through that quick brief walkthrough, I didn't see any weapons or any devices that were believed to be used that would have severed his head off at that time.
As a result of that very strong chemical smell, did the walkthrough get kind of cut short and you step out for a while?
That's correct.
Ultimately, you need to get a search warrant from a judge in order to actually do a thorough search, correct?
Correct.
And was that done in this case?
Yes.
Did you at some point on the scene interview Yoko?
We did.
Did you learn, according to Yoko, who was the last person to be with John while he was alive?
Yes, we did.
And who was that?
We discovered she had mentioned that a female name that she only knew as Nikki at the time, and said it was his ex that he had 2 kids with. But later on, we ended up finding out that her name was Devyn Michaels, or just a different name with Devyn Michaels.
And ultimately, does one of your other detectives obtain a phone number for Miss Michaels?
That is correct.
Is that 702-677-4430?
That is correct.
And was that Detective Pappas?
Yes.
Did Pappas contact her?
He did.
And did she was she asked to come back to the scene?
Yes, she was.
Did she arrive on the scene?
Yes.
With whom?
We believe the kids were with her at the time.
And what was she driving?
A Nissan Armada.
Did you make contact with her down the street?
We did.
Did you and Detective Pappas conduct an interview with her?
We did.
If you could just, the jury's already heard it, but so can you just give us a quick summary of what you learned of any potential value in that first interview?
So with our first interview, we just basically try to get as much, we wanted to make it short, but try to get as much information as we could to follow up on later, given the fact that we were told that she was the last person to have seen him. So when we talked to her, little suspicion that was raised because she wasn't very detailed on what she did with them that night, given we were told from Yoko that approximately between 10 and 1 o'clock that Devyn was there with them. So when she first explained what they had done together, it was just school shopping the day prior, and then just kind of went into that they were loading things back and forth from the Pauladura address to her address at 5510 Porcupine Rim, I believe is the address, and that they were basically just loading things and unloading things, and that's kind of what at first she told us at the beginning.
Okay, let me stop you and just ask a couple specifics.
Okay.
Basically, in this first interview, did she claim John was alive and smoking in the garage when she left?
Yes.
Was that inconsistent with what you had learned prior from Yoko?
That's correct.
Describe that.
So what we had learned from Yoko is that when Yoko advised that she had come down at approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, and this is already after she had spoken to John and Devyn prior to that, but she only had seen Devyn at that time around 1, and then Yoko advised that Devyn had told her that John was sleeping in the bedroom because he had been drinking already, and that they were planning on going in the next morning to take the kids to school, get them ready, and get them registered. So I think the next day, on the 7th, was actually first day of school that week. And then compared to what Devyn told us is that she had told us that John was awake in the garage at the time when she had left. So those statements were contradictory to each other.
Ultimately, you obtained that warrant from the judge, correct?
Correct.
And did you execute a search warrant along with a whole lot of supporting detectives?
Correct.
During the course of the search warrant, the actual search, did you notice any particular items that were maybe missing from the scene or something you would expect at the scene that wasn't there?
Yes, close to when the search warrant was being completed, we were basically looking for a cell phone of Jonathan's, his wallet, and possibly the keys too, because we were interested in the truck. But we did not find his truck keys or his wallet with his ID or his cell phone anywhere at the house.
Did you find anything in the scene that could potentially be a murder weapon?
We did not.
Any weapons, or I guess I should say items, in the scene that you felt could have been used to decapitate John?
We did not.
You mentioned the blood staining earlier, and I want to just get a couple more details. I believe you already said no blood on the walls or ceiling, correct?
Correct.
Have you been on crime scenes in the past in which there are gunshot injuries?
Yes.
Have you been on sharp force injuries or stabbing cases in the past?
Yes.
Blunt force injury cases?
Correct.
Sometimes single blunt force, sometimes multiple blunt force, correct?
That's correct.
When it comes to multiple blunt forces, would you expect to see some cast off?
That's correct.
Why is that?
From multiple blunt force trauma, when we say cast off, we say that after the first hit, which would cause the bleeding at that point, and then as the continued hits after the fact, the blood would be on whatever object that was striking the body or the head at this point, and it would have had cast off coming off the item, and you would have that somewhere on the walls or somewhere near where the strikes were occurring.
But that's not necessarily the case if you have a single...
For one single blow, no.
Did you find any firearms evidence at the scene?
No.
Based upon your review of the scene, did you determine that a gun was probably unlikely to have been used in the scene?
Yes. So basically, since the fact that there were no bullet impact marks, there were no, like in the wall, there were no bullet impact marks that we saw in the mattress, no blood spatter from a bullet impact going through a body or a head was seen. Also the fact that LOKO and Yoshida didn't report that they heard a gunshot, and there were no phone calls coming from the neighborhood that there was a gunshot. There was no reason to believe that a gun was used in this incident.
As a result of that, are you generally kind of focused, narrowing your focus in on sharp or blunt weapons?
That is correct.
Not ignoring a gun if you come across it, but your focus, what you're really looking for, is sharp or blunt.
At that time, yes.
Did you later learn that it was reported that a knife was missing from the scene?
That is correct.
Based upon the blood patterning as you saw it, can you describe kind of some of your investigative deductions you got from the blood near John?
So when you got closer to the body and where you saw the blood on top of the actual mattress, you saw it there next to his body, and then you kind of saw some off on the side of the bed, and there was a little bit of pool of blood at the bottom on the carpet. Then when you look at it, you can kind of see there's certain voids in the blood. So when we round tabled it, talked together, it was kind of determined that, hey, there was probably something placed there, because where the blood was actually at, you could see, like I said, some voids. So where maybe a possible container was that possibly collected a lot of the blood, because even though there was a good amount of blood that was there on the scene, not as much as what you would believe, considering the type of injury that you saw with his head severed.
Okay, and try not to ask this in too morbid a way, but if you're assuming, or did you assume the decapitation occurred there in the scene?
That's correct.
If you're assuming that is the case, and the head finally is lopped off, if there's nothing under it, would you expect kind of a splash or a different patterning?
That is correct.
Did you notice whether there was a doggy door in the room?
Yes.
And what did you notice about that, or what deductions did you come to from that?
We were told that the doggy door was closed, which was unusual when we were told by Yoko. And then when you saw where the doggy door was at, next to the slider, and you witnessed that it actually was still shut at the time.
Okay. As a result of the observations you made at the scene, did you or other detectives contact the defendant over the phone?
That's correct.
Was that you?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and the same phone number we just mentioned a minute ago?
That's correct.
What was the content of that? Was that a short contact?
After our initial interview?
Yes.
Yes.
Was there something referenced about a Burlington coat factory?
Yeah, so I had contacted Devyn again over the phone because we wanted to talk to her, ask more clarifying questions, and actually talk to Deviere also. So we asked if she was willing to meet. She said yes, and then we were going to head up to her place at 5510 Porcupine. During that conversation, she had mentioned that one of her daughters had actually told her that while they were school shopping at the Burlington Coat Factory, somebody a male had approached the daughter. I can't remember which one it was, but a male had approached the daughter and Jonathon at the Burlington Coat Factory and made the comment, I believe, "I'm coming to get you." So being that it's still early in the investigation, things that we need to investigate everything, as myself and Detective Skinner are driving to the Porcupine Rim address, we had another detective go to the Burlington Coat Factory that she said that they were at and review video surveillance from that place.
And what was learned during the course of that?
So the video surveillance was reviewed. I believe Detective Kondratovich, who then relayed to me that at no time did he see anybody approach John and his daughter, and it looked like there was any kind of confrontation at all with anybody at the store.
Okay, so something that the defendant mentions it, you attempt to verify it, there's no evidence of it, but you note it for your investigation.
Correct.
And then did you start heading toward the 5510 Porcupine Rim address?
Yes, sir.
Who'd you go with?
Detective Skinner.
As you arrived on scene, did you notice any trash cans out front?
Yes.
Throughout
the neighborhood.
Throughout the neighborhood?
Correct.
Okay. In addition to noting it's trash day and there's trash cans throughout the neighborhood, did you notice anything as you approached the actual home?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So when we're approaching her house, her vehicle, the Nissan Armada, is parked on the left side of the driveway. And at that time, Devyn was already outside. It looks like she was taking things from her car back to the house. So then we follow her up the driveway. And as walking up the driveway, I see a black cell phone on the ground in a spot that typically you wouldn't see a cell phone just sitting on the floor. So I take note of that, and it looked like it was either dropped or left there. But at this point in time, we know that we're still missing John's cell phone, so the possibility
Miss D56, what's good, family? Appreciate you joining.
that could be a cell phone. Take note. I let Detective Skinner know that also, and then we continue to follow Devyn inside the house.
And just so we're clear, as you're walking up, I'm not going to pull the photos up, but you said the defendant's vehicle is on the left.
Correct.
Of the driveway, parked nose in, facing the home.
That is correct.
Where is the cell phone in relation to her car?
It would have been close to the garage on the driver's side of the vehicle, and near the rock landscape that's on the outside of the driveway.
The vehicle meaning the Nissan Armada.
The Nissan Armada.
On the
correct.
driver's side.
Correct.
Okay. Why is it that you don't go pick it up right there and you just take note of it and talk to Skinner about it?
Because at that point, we want to be able to talk to Devyn and Deviere, and we want to be able to not have them know that we have that phone at that point, because we're not sure if it is John's phone, and if it is, then obviously our interviews are going to be different when we talk to them. So if it's actually evidence that we're going to need or use, it's going to be something that we want before we can talk to them and get more information from them. We don't want it to basically have them use that information also now to come up with different, a story, I guess, per se, with us.
And as a homicide investigator, you are aware that you can't just go seizing evidence without a warrant, correct?
Correct.
And so even if you wanted to, you couldn't just walk up and seize the cell phone at that time. You would have to get a judge to sign off on an actual search.
That's correct.
Okay. Did you make contact with Deviere?
Yes.
Where was that? Was it out front, inside? Do you remember?
Initially inside the house, and then I conducted an interview with him inside my vehicle.
And did you conduct a recorded interview?
That is correct.
Audio recorded?
Yes.
Did you notice anything about Deviere as you began to talk to him?
When we entered my vehicle, there was a heavy odor of alcohol that I detected, and then he actually apologized in the interview at the beginning, saying that he had actually been drinking since he had gotten home, and said he was sorry that he was basically possibly intoxicated.
Did he say why he started drinking when he got home?
Basically because of the news that he found out about his dad being deceased.
And you've spoken to dead people's next of kin and families many times in your career.
That is correct.
Was that out of the world of reasonableness for you, or what?
No, obviously I told him that, hey, I understand what you're saying, or why you've been drinking. It's people mourn in different ways, and that is one way that people mourn is they tend to drink sometimes too.
Nonetheless, even though he's been drinking, you still want to talk to him and ask him some questions, correct?
That is correct.
And you did that?
Yes.
Again, the jury has gone through a lot of evidence before you testified, so I'm going to just hit a couple of points, and you correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Generally, did Deviere say he had been home all day the day before?
That is correct.
Did he actually initially say, I was working, and kind of correct himself and be like, wait, is yesterday Sunday, that kind of thing?
That is correct.
Okay. So he corrected himself.
Yes.
And then he says he was home the day before, meaning August 6th.
That is correct.
Okay. And did he indicate that he was home the night before watching the girls?
Yes.
Did he, in your opinion, minimize the sexual relationship with the defendant?
He did.
And just generally, I'm not going to hold you to precise numbers, but was Deviere calls from family and stuff?
That is correct.
I'm not going to go into too much detail on the phones because we have
internet cut off on me. My bad for the buffering. We should be back.
Other witnesses to do that, but ultimately you did get his CDRs, correct?
Correct.
Did those CDRs confirm or refute his claim that he was home last night?
They confirmed his statement.
With the video canvassing, that was done at Porcupine Rim and Paladura, correct?
Correct.
Was there any video in the area of Porcupine Rim that depicted Deviere's vehicle or vehicles moving away from the scene?
No.
And while you were talking to Deviere, did Detective Skinner talk to the two young girls?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you conduct an interview with the defendant, Ms. Michaels, prior to executing the search warrant on Porcupine Rim?
Yes.
During the course of that interview, does something beep and draw your attention?
Yeah. During that second interview with Devyn, there was a Republic Services trash truck that had driven by and honked its horn and picking up the trash through the neighborhood.
Okay. At some point during that second interview, did the girls approach the vehicle?
That is correct.
Describe that.
It was close towards the end of the interview, and one of the daughters came up, and she was holding a black cell phone in her hand. When we had rolled down the window, they basically were saying, hey, Mommy, this is Daddy's cell phone. This is the reason why you can't get a hold of him. So then she hands the phone to Devyn, who then we take the phone from her Then it's given to Detective Skinner. And then basically Devyn confirms that cell phone does belong to Jonathon at that point.
Did you note anything particular about the cell phone itself?
Yeah, and then we discover that on the cell phone, the screen is cracked, and then there's apparent blood on the screen at that time.
Okay. After this, do you end up getting that search warrant through a judge for the Porcupine Rim address?
Yes.
And did that include the Porcupine Rim address itself as well as the cars?
That is correct.
All the vehicles?
All vehicles on scene.
Did that include a work van?
Yes.
And Your Honor, we had missed these earlier, so I believe there's a stipulation to 653 to 658 as well as 659.
Okay, so 653 to 659?
Yes.
Okay. 653 to 659, we admitted?
Did you yourself conduct a search warrant on the work truck?
I did not myself.
Just going to show you, though, these are part of your investigative file, correct? 653?
Correct.
654? Correct?
Correct.
655?
Yes.
656?
Yes.
657?
Yes.
658?
Yes.
And do you remember who searched that vehicle?
I believe it was Detective Lionel and Detective Christopher.
And then there was also a crime scene analyst documenting stuff, correct?
That is correct.
Were there any bloody weapons, tools, or anything of that nature found within that vehicle?
No.
Was the small sedan also searched?
That is correct.
Was there anything of note or evidentiary value associated with that?
There was not.
Did you note how the van was parked in relation to the car? Not the Nissan Armada yet, but the small sedan.
The work van that Deviere said that he was the one using, yeah, it was parked partially in front of the Honda Civic. And we just kind of took note of that. It's strange because there was a lot more room on the street to be able to park to where there wouldn't be any reason why you would block the vehicle.
Okay. Was the Nissan Armada searched on scene or no?
Not on scene, no.
Was it sealed on scene?
Correct.
States 250, is that the Nissan?
It is.
And 248, is that a different angle of the Nissan?
That's correct.
So earlier you were describing where that cell phone with blood and cracked screen was found. Is it over here to the left in this photo?
That would be correct.
Further off?
Close to the rock landscape off there.
Got it. Did you observe anything about the Nissan itself?
When you first looked at the Nissan, it looked freshly cleaned on the outside, like it had been ran through one of the car washes that you just drive through, because it was clean, but yet you could still see like the water stain marks on it still.
251, this is a better photo that actually shows the rock. So it was over, was it this way more toward the driver's door, or?
Sorry.
Don't click or the judge will yell at you.
Okay.
We'll be on break while we.
You can toggle over, but don't click.
So it would have been somewhere around this area right here.
Okay. And for the record, you're just pointing to the small gap of rocks we can see in 251.
That is correct. Yes. That Nissan Armada was searched later
for 2 hours, 3 hours. Y'all just now telling me my sign is wrong? Come on, man. No, I'm just playing. That's my bad, y'all.
Correct.
I'm sure that didn't lost a couple
Anything of
viewers.
value that was found within the vehicle?
No.
Did you obtain a search warrant for the Nissan Armada's infotainment center?
We did.
And did you execute that warrant and one of your detectives pull the infotainment system with data out of it?
That is correct.
Ultimately, did you review that pretty thoroughly?
Yes.
That data associated with that?
Correct.
Was there anything of note related to that as well as the victim's phone?
In reference to the actual information taken from the vehicle, we got location data from there. So it showed from when it left Porcupine Rim and then went back to Pauladura, and then we had it leaving Pauladura middle of the night around 2:04, I believe, and then heading back to Porcupine Rim. And then with our, are you saying about our victim's cell phone?
Yes.
Later on, we were able to figure out that his cell phone had left the same time as the vehicle, which for us would say that Devyn was in possession of his cell phone at the time when it went back to the Porcupine Rim address.
Did you also, in addition to all the vehicles, search the home at Porcupine Rim?
Correct.
I want to show you 659. Can't remember.
Joni 4 in the building. What's good, family? Appreciate you joining.
If we had marked this earlier, so I just added it. Do you see some samurai swords here?
That is correct.
Anything of note about those?
From note, there was no blood that we saw on there, and they look like movie prop replica souvenir type samurai swords.
Okay. So nothing of no blood on the blades at all, correct?
I don't remember specifically on the blades, but I just know that when I was told there was no blood found on
them.
On them.
Okay. Garage. Do you go into the garage at some point?
Yes.
Do you? Does somebody find some Ring cameras?
Yes.
And do you remember where those were found?
I believe they were in a bag on top of one of the trash cans.
Did you inspect those for an SD card or like an internal storage device?
That is correct.
Did you find one?
We did not.
Did you obtain a search warrant for the footage from Ring associated with those cameras?
We did.
And what did you do with that?
After we submitted the search warrant to Ring to get any video from that actual system, waited for the records, and then we were advised from Ring, which I believe is Amazon actually, because they're owned by Amazon, advising that there was no actual video recordings available.
Did they have any information to give you?
I believe it was just a subscriber info, which I can't remember if it came back to Jonathon or to the actual house.
Okay, but subscriber info is just paper.
Correct.
Saying who has the account.
Exactly. Who was in charge of the account.
There was no video footage with those cameras.
No.
According to Ring or Amazon, I guess.
Correct.
At some point during the execution of the warrant, did somebody find the victim's wallet and keys wrapped in plastic baggies in a female underwear drawer?
That is correct.
You took note of that as well?
We did.
Was there ever a white female tank top found during the execution of the warrant?
There was not.
Any black and white Nikes with a large white swoosh along the side?
We did not.
Why were the keys important if they were?
The keys that were found inside the bag that was tucked away, hidden in the drawer, were important due to the fact that they were the truck keys to Jonathon's vehicle.
Did you learn something after the arrest of the defendant related to those keys?
Basically, those were the only set of truck keys that we had for the Jonathon's truck.
So did you then go in and release that item of evidence to Yoko so that she could do what she wanted to do with the truck?
That is correct. She had reached out to me asking for the keys because there wasn't another set of keys for her to use.
And I should ask you, during the execution of the warrant back at Pauladura, was there ever a set of spare Chevy truck keys found anywhere in that search warrant?
There was not.
During the course of the Porcupine Rim search warrant, did somebody locate a Social Security card?
Yes.
Was that of any relevance to you?
Not not really any relevance. She had told us that Jonathan had given it to her, and it was found in her purse, which she did say that she had in her purse.
Okay. Is it a fair deduction that if someone wanted to make changes to custody or school paperwork, they may need the
yes, they would need Social Security card, probably the ID, and any other kind of identifying information for that person.
Did you locate guns inside the home?
We did.
I believe you previously testified that the scene didn't appear consistent with gunshot, but do you take note, document all those guns, etc.?
Correct. Pictures are taken and documented of the weapons that we found, but like we said earlier, there's no evidence at that point to say that a gun was used, so they were just noted and documented.
And ultimately, at this particular scene, are there 11 electronic devices that are taken and later analyzed by digital forensics?
That is correct.
One being the victim's phone that was in the driveway.
Yes.
Was one of them Deviere's device?
Correct.
Another one, the defendant's device?
Correct.
And then any other electronic devices you or anybody else found during the search warrant?
That is correct.
After the search warrant is conducted, or while it's still going on, do you conduct what'll be the third interview with the defendant?
Yes.
During the course of that interview, were you receiving information from your fellow detectives that were still inside?
That's correct.
One of those things being they found the wallet, the ID, the keys, and that?
Yes.
Did you ask the defendant during this third interview about whether John's wallet would be at her house?
I did.
What did she say?
I had asked her, I think I actually had asked her if she knew where John's wallet was at, and she had told me no.
Okay. Did you then go a little bit further and ask her about, or I guess confront her with the fact that you had found it in the house?
We did.
And what did she say about that?
Then she had mentioned that she had multiple wallets of his with other IDs in it when we confronted her about also the ID. And then we had also talked to her, basically confronting her about that. Well, it's the most current ID. Why would you have that? And she really didn't have an answer for us for that.
I'm going to ask you a very important but specific question. Who is it in this interview that talks about the wallet being wrapped in plastic bags?
She was, Devyn.
So she volunteered that info?
That is correct.
You did not tell her the wallet was found wrapped in plastic bags?
We did not.
Did you ask her, or Skinner ask her about the timing of when this would have allegedly been tied in the plastic bags?
We did.
And what was the response, or what did you take from that?
What she had told us, with the keys for the truck being in the plastic bag, her time frame wasn't making sense, just due to the fact that she had told us that when Jonathan had given her the bag and then had dumped stuff in there with the wallet and the keys, it was between the time frame of 8 and 9 o'clock, and then they had still driven from Paladura back to the Porcupine Rim house. And so at that point, she said, when we went back to that house, that's when I had put the plastic bag in my drawer, and then we drove back to Paladura, which we know now also that couldn't have been possible since it was his truck keys that were actually in there. So that couldn't have been the time frame that he had given her all that stuff.
Did you attend John's autopsy?
I did.
Did you notice the obvious very large neck injury?
Yes, I did.
Other than that, were there any bleeding injuries on John's body at all?
There was not.
I want to go back to video surveillance for a moment. It's fair to say that dozens and dozens of homes and businesses were canvassed for surveillance?
That is correct.
And there are lots of hours of footage and data to comb through.
Yes.
You, I would presume, can't do that all yourself, correct?
That is correct.
And so we've previously had a detective testify about a lot of that, but I just want to hit a couple of points with you. Okay.
Okay.
You are generally familiar with the surveillance?
Generally, yes.
Generally. So was there footage taken from a Terrible's near the Paladura address?
Yes, there was.
Did that footage show the defendant and John alone leaving the store around 10:11 p.m.?
It did.
Was there a bunch of footage taken from the Paladura neighborhood itself?
There was.
Was there footage from 2699 Fan Palm?
Yes, there was.
And do you remember if that one was a fixed camera?
I believe, yeah, it was a fixed camera that recorded, constant recorded.
Was that, did that show the victim's truck arriving in the neighborhood about 10:12 p.m.?
I believe so, yes.
And that would have been consistent with the distance from the Chevron?
It would be.
So if they leave Chevron at 10:11, it's real close by.
Correct. The Chevron was located just around the corner from their house.
2696 Paladura, was there footage from that?
Yes.
And was that, if you're facing the homicide scene, is that the home to the right?
Yes, it would be.
Okay. Was there a clip of that that you observed that showed the headlights arriving consistently around that time the Chevron video ends and all of that?
That's correct.
And that showed two shadows getting out what appeared to be the truck?
That would be correct, yes.
Around 11 a.m. was there, 11 p.m. was there footage from that camera showing a figure put something in the Nissan, turn it on, and then move it forward a little bit?
Correct.
And then based on where you know that the truck was the next morning, did it appear that the Nissan moved nose to nose with that truck?
It would have, yes.
And fair to say that once it goes off screen, you can't actually see it?
No.
Obviously. That same camera, was there an activation at 2:04 a.m.?
Yes.
And does that depict generally the Nissan backing up and leaving?
That is correct.
Video from Porcupine Rim. So we're moving now to Porcupine Rim. Was there a couple of videos that showed Deviere's work van parked behind the sedan?
Yes.
And did it appear that work van stayed in the same spot from night to morning?
That is correct.
Was there video taken from 6505 Taylor Creek?
Yes.
And was that a motion activated camera?
That was.
Did it appear to you that the motion settings or the sensitivity was kind of weak on that one?
Yeah, and I believe I was told that it only activated when there's some kind of movement around the front of the house.
The house itself that it's on?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. 6621 Gray Jupiter, was there a fixed camera on that?
Correct.
And was that one continuous recording and not motion activated?
It was.
And is that positioned essentially at the only vehicle entrance and exit to the neighborhood?
That is correct.
And does that show the victim's truck leaving at 9:29 p.m. on the 6th?
Approximately, yes.
Does it also show the defendant's Nissan Armada entering the neighborhood at 2:39 a.m.?
That is correct.
Does it also show Deviere's work van leaving at 7:31 a.m. for the first time?
It does.
There's a road that's behind the Porcupine Rim address. Is that Rebecca?
I believe so.
Was there any video surveillance at the Rebecca Road? Did you canvass that?
I did.
Was there any video surveillance on Rebecca Road?
No.
There's also a CVS that was mentioned.
That's correct. Devyn had told us that when she left the Paladura address, she had driven home, but prior to getting home, she went to pick up her, I think, child's prescription at the CVS, and then she gave us the specific place that, the specific address to the CVS.
And you follow up on that?
I did.
And was there video showing the defendant in the drive-through prescription line at 2:28 a.m.?
Correct.
Was there anyone else seen inside the vehicle other than the defendant?
We did not see anybody else in the vehicle.
Okay. At some point in time, you and your fellow detectives make the decision to arrest the defendant, correct?
Correct.
After her arrest, is there another interview conducted by detectives Christopher and Linau?
That is correct.
Okay. You did not witness that, so you can't speak to that, correct?
I did not.
Did you receive from them, without saying what it is, but did you receive from them after the interview like a one-page handwritten drawing?
Correct.
After that, do you conduct a whole bunch of follow-up investigation and start receiving information and analyzing it?
That is correct.
I want to talk about the Burla real quick. Burla being the Nissan Armada's infotainment.
Yes.
Did that particular item of evidence show pinpoint GPS tracking?
It did.
And did that suggest that the defendant's Nissan Armada left the scene at Palo Duro at 2:04 a.m.?
It did.
Did you also do a whole bunch of follow-up with call detail records?
We did.
And I believe you mentioned this previously, you obtained the CDRs for Andrea Reyes?
Yes.
Did those rule her out?
They did.
And those showed her up in a remote area far away from the scene?
Yeah, I believe in Oregon.
Did you obtain call detail records for the victim's phone?
We did.
And would that be phone number 702-561-9242?
Correct.
Does that sound right?
I believe so.
Those call detail records for Jonathon's phone, did they suggest that his phone kind of went inactive after around 11 p.m. on the 6th?
That is correct.
And then they show that that phone pops up at Porcupine Rim the next morning.
It did.
Did you also obtain Google data separate from the CDRs for Jonathon's device?
That's correct.
And is that what you mentioned earlier, that at 2:04 a.m. it showed traveling the same track as the defendant?
That is correct.
Okay. Did you obtain CDRs or call detail records for the defendant's main device?
Yes.
Would that be 702-677-4430?
Yes.
And you yourself talked to her on that number, correct?
That is correct.
And was the CDRs on that consistent with what we've talked about with the Burla and the Google data?
Correct. They all matched up together.
Did you also obtain CDRs for Deviere's device?
We did.
And was that 707-628-1336?
Yes.
There's a subscriber sheet that comes with that?
There is.
And there was a man, I believe it was Joseph Sands, listed as a subscriber?
He was.
Did you do any research into Joseph Sands and the address on the subscriber sheet?
Yeah, we discovered with that same address it was Vacaville, California. Also living there was a female named Arminthia Sands, which is what Deviere told us that's his mom.
Okay, so the male name is Joseph Sands, but you do some research into that to determine if there's a Sands relation?
Yeah.
Did the location data in Deviere's phone suggest that he was home all night at the Porcupine Rim residence and doesn't leave until he goes to work the next day?
That's correct.
Did you cause various items of evidence to be submitted to the forensic lab for further testing?
We did.
I want to talk to you about fingerprints real quick. Did anything of note come back on fingerprints for either the defendant or Deviere at the Palo Duro residence?
No.
Did a couple of things come back for the victim at his own home and Yoko at her own home?
Correct, which we would expect.
Okay. With regard to DNA, did you obtain or were you able to obtain a search warrant for the defendant's buccal swab after her arrest?
That is correct.
And you can't just go swabbing people, you have to get a warrant for that, correct?
Correct.
Did you obtain a buccal swab search warrant for Deviere?
We did not.
Why not?
At that point, he had been ruled out as a suspect, and we didn't. There was no probable cause for us to actually get his DNA.
And we're going to have an expert talk about DNA results, but very basically, did you learn that the DNA on the knot of the plastic bags came back to the defendant?
Correct.
And then the DNA on the driveway blood at Palo Duro and the blood on the victim's phone at Porcupine Rim come back to the victim?
That is correct.
Detective, I'm almost done with you. Just one little last line of questioning here. During the course of your investigation, you're receiving information consistently for an extended period of time, correct?
Yes.
And ultimately, your job is to try to put it all together and see where it all fits, correct?
That is correct.
Were you able to establish a timeline based upon all the evidence for the homicide?
We were.
And fair to say that a forensic pathologist, medical examiner, they're a little wishy-washy when it comes to timing death, correct?
You could say that, yes.
Okay. What did you conclude the time of death was for John?
So given all the evidence that we collected, phone data, and then the blood, the DNA, and stuff that came back to our victim, Jonathon, we kind of deduced that we know that he was last seen at the house at Polidora about 10-12 from Yoko and from Devyn telling us that, hey, yeah, Yoko saw him alive at about that time frame, 10 o'clock. And then we know that the last person to see him was Devyn, and that she left the house around 2 o'clock. And given the fact that we had the phone that had his blood on it, leaving the house at about 2:04, we know that definitely 2:04 was the end time. So between 10, I think it was like 10:12 when they arrived there, to 2:04 when she leaves, that would have been our time frame that we know the homicide would have occurred, given the fact that he didn't have any cuts on him. There was no other blood that would have been coming from Jonathon, except from when he was killed and then when his head was cut off. So that's how we can say that, yeah, the homicide would have occurred between that time frame.
Pass witness, thank you. Your approach.
All right, family, I hate to do it. Please don't shoot me in the foot for it. But I got to go, family. I'm going to have to do a part 2 tonight at 6. I don't know why they went mute. I think they on a sidebar or something. But 2 hours and 30 minutes, I will be back live, and I'll do the rest of it. We'll cover the rest. I don't know what's going on with they sound, but I got to go. And we are caught up, so if y'all switch over, if you anxious and can't wait, you'll still be caught up, and we'll still be just in time, and you can continue watching elsewhere. But other than that, I'll see y'all tonight. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Shout out to everybody in the chat. No One, Trakisha, Miss D, 56, Joni 4. Let me see, get some music going real quick, because it sounded kind of dry. But we will continue tonight. 2.5 hours. That way y'all can go take care of your business and you won't miss nothing. Y'all can come back tonight and be all caught up. Y'all can go check out some other trials. And then tonight, y'all could get caught up either way. Shout out to Trakisha with the new butterfly emoji. Appreciate you, family. Watch the rise. Joni 4. Miss D56, Michelle B, appreciate you. Lady L, appreciate you. Kimberly, appreciate you. No One, shout out to No One. Rock Solid TV, Indigo Kebra. I am Shout. See y'all tonight, family. Much love, much love. Appreciate y'all. Stay fresh and stay blessed, family. Peace out. See y'all tonight. Joni 4. Peace, love, and joy, Joni 4. I am Shout. Shout out to I am Shout. Appreciate you, family.
I will be fine. Our kids will not be.
Ain't your money.